I feel so empowered as a vegan activist. Since going vegan I am starving. For more knowledge on how to save the planet from the deadly and real #climate crisis through grassroots, not co-opted controlled opposition, #activism and #climate action.
One thing, which is that you mentioned $130 trillion.
105, I think it is.
105. I have $130 trillion in my mind because that is the amount of assets under management that are going to be handed over in the next 5 years to the millennials. And in a way that to me is maybe some real hope, because money is going to have to be invested in those green projects.
I can sleep comfortably knowing that the grown-ups at the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, the IMF, the UN and World Bank are working hard to educate you all and bring solutions to the real and imminent #climate crisis that is our fault for being alive and not sterilizing ourselves and not listening to the superior people on the television screen.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
I want to be a socially acceptable and approved global citizen like all the activists at the Free Global Citizen Festival in New York City. So I did some research on what the amazing 16-year-old human shield Greta Thunberg wants us to do for #climate action.
Greta, could you please tell us what kind of message, what you are doing here today, what kind of message would you send by doing this to world leaders? And also kind of ask you, do you think it's about time that President Trump would respond to what you have said today?
I think... I'm sorry, what was the first question?
What's the message you would like to send to our leaders by doing what you are doing?
I think what we want to send is, the message we want to send is to say that we have had enough. And anyone else wants to answer that question? I can't speak on behalf of everyone.
Anyone wants to answer about the message to world leaders?
I think maybe you should give some questions to the others as well.
What a bully. Why, how comes did the mean grown-up pick on that poor innocent 16-year-old human shield? I don't hate children. I am not a bigot. I want #climate action now, and if that's not clear enough I let the World Resources Institute answer those grown-up questions. Bill Gates is a major benefactor of the Extinction Rebellion movement and close friend of philanthropist champion of science, Jeffrey Epstein. He is a grown-up who knows our house is on fire, and he is warning us that we need to take #climate action by helping the philanthropists at the IMF and World Bank to give sustainable loans that help destabilize nations in places where there are all those extra people. We can help these uneducated climate change driving extra people to help us to stop the #climate crisis by giving their resources to global corporations and banks who can then educate them on institutionalized infanticide and make them grow GMO crops so we enlightened vegans can import it for our nutrient-fortified plant-based kibble.
The Africans ought to get to decide which crops they grow in which ways and which seeds. The strongest analogy is to medicines, and is there something to worry about with medicines? That is, might some of them have side effects? Do we need safety testing? I mean, and we're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein. So, yeah, I think maybe we should have a safety system where we, do trials and test things out. The idea, though, that you would take a technique that promises to solve nutrition problems, solves productivity problems, solves crop disease problems for African farmers, where it's absolutely a life and death issue for them. And you would say, oh, nothing that uses that technique should possibly use. And it's so random. What's considered GMO and what's not considered GMO, irradiating things. And
I trust this grassroots organizer, Bill Gates, friend of philanthropist Jeffrey Epstein, knows what's best. I am not afraid of science and progress. It's too complicated for me and I am too confused to come up with my own opinions. I let the grown-ups like Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein do the hard thinking. I hope Greta Thunberg told Obama, when they met, that he and John Podesta should use vegan Beyond Meat hot dogs next time they need $65,000 of hot dogs from Chicago for a private party at the White House. That will help Bill Gates and global financiers fight the hashtag climate crisis emergency even more better.
Hey, what's that gadget?
Global
Television?
citizens breaking news. Some naughty indigenous animal-abusing non-vegan troublemakers in Ecuador are making bad time for good grown-up President Moreno, who has declared a state of emergency that removes limits to government power and allows full censorship of all media in the country. These bigots making it hard for Moreno to help the planet don't know that they must want sustainable IMF-loan dictated austerity measures to make them austere. They don't understand that it will save the planet if these extra unnecessary people pay more for fuel so their government can sell off all the nation's fuel, minerals, water, and land to the Fortune 100 corporations and members of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development for pennies. These President Moreno-phobic bigots should focus on the good news, that they get to pay more than twice as much for fuel and they'll get discounts on Bayer Monsanto pesticides and microfinance loans from the World Bank and Bill Gates to buy mandatory pharmaceutical products for their children's health and industrial machines that can destroy their soil and cover it in nutrients like pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides so they can grow sustainable patented corn instead of the thousands of varieties of local heirloom foods. This is what's best for them, and the planet. I just wish Moreno would adopt mandatory veganism for these Ecuadorians. These indigenous people don't know a plant-based diet is what is best. I'm hoping Moreno and the UN help us animal rights activists to stop them from keeping chickens, goats, sheep, and cows because they have a lot of able-bodied people who could be growing soy and corn for me. Earthling Ed, Joey Carbstrong and the rest of the newly formed Animal Rebellion. We will update you more on this developing situation in Ecuador as things develop. I'm exhausted and need a nap. All this rebellious and trendy cool vegan activism is so cutting edge. Tomorrow me and my new friends at Animal Rebellion are going to take over a massive meat market in London and the government and police will likely do absolutely nothing but temporarily detain a few of us. We are so excited, it will be so lit. We cannot wait to force everyone to go vegan to save the planet. First me and Joey Carbstrong, another vegan activist, will take hashtag climate action and go shopping for some plant-based kibble. After my mid-morning nap I feel so happy and nourished, empowered, and satiated for purchasing a sustainable lunch of shrink-wrapped plant-based pesticide-fortified GMO kibble from patented GMO wheat grown by Africans, paying off massive IMF loans thanks to the Rockefeller Foundation and Bill Gates' brave generous philanthropy. This sustainable mass-produced kibble is so much tastier and more nourishing and more ethical than real food. I don't miss animal foods at all. I am completely content with this lifestyle.
Super easy to be vegan in most places on Earth. That's the chip section. Don't even know if we want to go down there. Do we? Not really. I don't really go down there. Oh, except if you ever get any of this. We love the love corn. This stuff here, even though it's fried in oil, good for a little treat. These are vegan too. Look, like, I can't actually eat too much granola because it's so tasty. But Jordan's, you're pretty, just check this, when it comes to buying cereal, just check for honey. We don't want to exploit bees. So these Jordan ones are pretty good. Jordan Crisp and in here. These are vegan. I've only just seen these. They look pretty good. Amazing. Let's have a look over here on the back of this. Sugar, rice flour, emulsified wheat flakes, maple syrup flavoring. Look, but made out of plants, all right? So just took me 1 second to realize that as well. Healthy stuff. I eat lots of oats. I eat so much oatmeal. It's crazy.
I am so mentally healthy and happy like this vegan activist. It is acceptable to me to eat so much oats all the time and never eat real animal foods again. The World Business Council for Sustainable Development member corporations make the best Roundup fortified GMO plant-based kibble that makes my tummy smile pretty colors inside. I've learned so much about how to purchase and consume sustainable kibble from this dope and lit activist, Joey Carbstrong. He taught me that McDonald's is helping us to save the planet from the hashtag climate crisis and the animal holocaust.
Cause you know that I'm a vegan. I ain't eating no beef, no pork, no fish, no chicken. Now people think I'm tripping cause I ain't eating no dairy, no eggs. But I stay well fed off the fruits and the veg cause I care about the animals and the environment. I care about my health. If it ain't vegan, I ain't buying it. I care about the planet. If it doesn't, we go die with it. People hating veganism without even trying it.
Alright, so here we are in UK McDonald's. Yes, that's right, we're in McDonald's. I know I'm a vegan, but there's some stuff at the UK McDonald's that you can get that is vegan friendly, okay? The fries, they're not fried in any of the oil, so you don't have to worry about cross-contamination. I think they're fried in grapeseed oil or something like that. But then we've got the burger, okay? So the burger, this is a veggie deluxe with no mayonnaise, no cheese, and it's got, I add tomato sauce instead of the mayonnaise. This is vegan friendly here in the UK. Also, the apple pie. So the apple pie is vegan here in the UK. I've got a Sprite here. Now, we prefer them to not use plastic, so to say I don't want any plastic. We carry around our little glass straw. Boom. So anyone who's worried about buying vegan options at McDonald's, I wouldn't worry about it. I would support the vegan options where you can. Let them know that you're vegan at McDonald's, because if they bring a McVegan burger out, like you don't have to alter the vegetarian burger, you can just bring they bring a specific McVegan burger out. That would be amazing for animals.
That is so amazing for the animals. I can't wait to save the planet by eating McDonald's when I fly to the UK to join the animal rebellion that I learned about from Plant-Based News and Joey. Let's learn more about how to be an empowered grassroots hashtag vegan activist from this mentally and physically healthy role model.
Now it's time. It's time for us to rise up and rebel. Rebel in solidarity with animals and against the climate crisis. To join forces with Extinction Rebellion and highlight the injustice of animal agriculture and the contribution it makes to climate change.
We cannot end the climate emergency without first declaring the animal emergency. There will be no climate rebellion without animal rebellion. It is our duty to raise the alarm and rebel. We say, act now!
The establishment elite are so afraid of this grassroots extinction rebellion against the real and imminent death threats from the hashtag climate crisis emergency that the global media company Forbes says pension funds, NGOs, governments, and big banks should invest trillions of dollars in sustainable finance and support these badass rebellious and cool rebels in their quest to save the planet by getting rid of all the toxic CO2 emitting disgusting humans who won't listen to the people on the TV and stop breeding and using resources.
For it is those who currently perpetuate these systems of violence who could one day be the same people to end them. We need to tell them why. We need to educate them. We need to show them. That is why we're here today.
I am trembling and tingling from listening to this effeminate gelfling named Earthling Ed. The not co-opted and truly anti-establishment animal rebellion and extinction rebellion will stop the climate crisis and give delicious sustainable nutrient-fortified plant-based replacement food and IMF loans and conditions to all those CO2-producing Africans and South Americans who are ruining the climate with their toxic babies and their livestock. I am so glad that these youth are fighting with the grown-ups at the Rockefeller Foundation, the UN, Bayer Monsanto, Unilever, Kellogg's, IKEA, Walmart and the World Bank to save the planet.
But we are rising. We are stronger than we have ever been, and we will see that vegan world, because we will not stop until we make it happen.
I'm exhausted and hungry from larping in the streets with all these woke-ass divorced promiscuous wine moms and boomers, petulant pilled-out millennials, and vacant zoomers. I haven't eaten in under an hour. Let's take some #climate action now and have an unnecessary late-night vegan snack made by third-world debt slaves. I feel so good about helping those CO2 off-gassing extra people over there who make my food to decrease their atrocious carbon footprint. The IMF loans that allow them to grow the GMO plants for my cheap, high-markup fortified kibble will save the planet from the toxic human babies by destabilizing their countries with a repressive puppet government police state, and making them poor and desperate so they give their minerals, water, land, and resources to the corporate members of the World Business Council on Sustainable Development for pennies. I hope Bill Gates Foundation provides them with microfinance for reproductive health services infanticide as well. Maybe Plant-Based News has a new fake vegan cheese recipe to help me suppress this nagging feeling that I'm being deceived and used by a giant global marketing campaign for a high-tech Bolshevik, Maoist-style revolution on behalf of the Fortune 100 and global finance.
I actually came here this morning to call out the racism that is inherent in the U.S. dietary guidelines.
Drinking milk is racist. I'm not a bigot. I feel so good about my vegan activism. This is what is best for everyone. I am fighting the man. I am not being duped. I am not a useful idiot being co-opted by something I am too ignorant, self-indulgent, and distracted to understand. I just need some truly enjoyable vegan comfort products that mimic real animal foods with plants grown by the extra people who the grown-ups on the TV taught me need to stop existing. This will stop me from thinking so much and numb me to reality so I can take more #climate action.
Today we're going to be cooking up Mexican pizzas. Really delicious. So the first thing we do is make a spicy bean mixture. So Mexican pizzas are in a sense a nice crispy tortilla with the spicy bean mix, and then it's got the cheese.
Oh, wow. The beans on this pizza are probably so acceptable. I bet I will not even desire real sausage after I take some prescription pills and overeat this Taco Bell style fake plastic plant cheese pizza in my smart city coffin apartment. Amazing. This is so acceptable to eat and so much more nourishing to me and the planet than real animal foods. I am not lying to myself when I say I like these Roundup fortified GMO corn tortillas from sustainable Monsanto seeds grown by the extra people in Mexico, fried in GMO soil from patented seeds grown in Brazil and processed in China. This is really so much better than a fatty steak seared in butter, or real pizza with real cheese and meat on it. I do not want to eat real animal foods. I am empowered and not starving for real nutrients. I don't think it's hypocritical that Plant-Based News, promoters of the #Animal Rebellion that wants to force the end of all animal food consumption, does sponsored recipe videos with this fake vegan cheese made by a company that makes real cheese from milk. The fake plastic plant cheese is what everyone needs to eat to save the planet. I feel good about this. I am not trying to convince myself that I enjoy this. Gas and bloating are normal and fun and cool. If I eat this way a few months more, I will stop craving real animal foods and will save the planet. Vegans don't look unhealthy and sickly, those are just the ones who are doing it wrong. Vegans who say this diet ruined their physical and mental health were never really vegan and did it wrong. We can produce more calories from plants than animals on the same amount of land if we take everyone's land and make them grow plants. Eggs are murder. Unborn human babies are just clumps of cells. I am not being deceived. I am not mentally and physically destroying myself and the world around me with this fake plastic cheese diet and toxic weaponized pop culture.
Hot, but great.
Hope you enjoyed watching that video. All of the ingredients, everything you need for all the recipes is just down there. Applewood cheese, it's out now, isn't it?
It's definitely got my vote.
Brilliant. I'm going to finish this off. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Peace.
Boom! There's the audio. I've got to do that that's the obligatory introduction, is when I forget to unmute my microphone. That's when you know the show has started. All right. What's all you bigots doing? Look at all these bigots in here. You can hear me now. Don't worry. The chat's a little bit behind. Good thing I look at that chat every once in a while. I already kept blabbering. So that intro is like half a year old now. That video I made back in October 2019. October 2019, that video was made. And it's kind of more relevant now than ever, right? You know, the crises may change, but isn't it funny that the solutions are always the same? The solutions to these crises, I mean, you don't even just pick a crisis, and I'll tell you what the solutions are going to be. And this current crisis that we're dealing with, guys, is obviously so important. All right, it's so pressing. And we're going to see how many birds we can kill with one stone, aren't we? We got to see just how many birds we can take out with a single stone. Scientists trial female sex hormone for COVID patients. Scientists trial female sex hormone for COVID patients. Now this is not The Onion. This is not Babylon Bee or some satire site. This is New York Times. Can estrogen and other sex hormones help men survive COVID-19? So the science is clear, guys. The science is totally clear. Men are dying more than women from this virus. Men are dying more than women. And what is the difference between men and women? Well, obviously the only difference is some hormones. So if we can just give men enough estrogen, we can save their lives. We can save their lives. So Big Pharma, always looking out for us. The hospitals, which are the third leading cause of death in the United States, right? The heroes, the essential twerkers of TikTok are here, and they're ready to help you. All you men, all you non-essential men, they're ready to help you. And we just need to understand that the solutions are right here before us. The solutions are right here. The solutions are almost always predictable as well. Isn't that funny? Always predictable. Can estrogen and other sex hormones help men survive COVID? Men are more likely than women to die of the coronavirus, so scientists are treating them with something women have more of: female sex hormones. All right, let's see what, I haven't seen this clip. Let's see what CNN's got to say. Come on now. Oh, we've got an ad. All right.
So there's still so much we don't know about this virus. Researchers around the world continue to study it, hoping to understand how it spreads, whom it affects, and whether we can develop immunity. So here's what we do know. The virus appears to be killing men at a much higher rate than women. At least that's according to some of the limited data we're getting from a handful of countries. But researchers here in the US are now trying to figure out if there's actually some truth to that. So they're conducting a study to determine if estrogen, a female hormone, can reduce the severity of symptoms in men. Well, we're joined now by Dr. Sharon Nachman, an Associate Dean for Research at the Renaissance School of Medicine at Stony Brook University, and also from the same university, Dr. Antonios Gasparis, a Professor of Surgery. Thank you very much to both of you.
All right, first of all, they should be wearing lab coats. I don't know why you're not wearing lab coats. Don't you realize this is the news? We need maximum propaganda effect. I don't know if I can believe these dudes without their lab coats on, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that they are doctors and scientists because CNN told me they are. But if they were wearing lab coats, we would know, right? They always wear lab coats when they're doing science, but I don't know. We'll see.
Because I want to talk about this study that is fascinating. Dr. Gasparis, I understand it was your idea, you thinking out of the box. You looked at the gender gaps in the death data particularly, and you had an idea. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was pretty simple clinical observation. as you mentioned, the gender difference and severity of disease that occurs between men and women. That's really what started, triggered everything.
And what was your idea?
So, you guys clearly this is probably causative. And what is causing this to kill more men than women? Obviously testosterone. Now I remember that people were talking about ACE2 expression, how it attacks, how the ACE2 receptor sites are attacked during the infectious process. Maybe it has something to do, probably doesn't have anything to do with the fact that men have more ACE2 receptors, right? The testicles have those receptors in them as well, which is why the Chinese study was showing that it might actually attack men's testicles. I think the kidney actually has a lot of ACE2 receptors too. But no, nothing to do with the fact that men have more of that. It's just that men don't have as much estrogen. So let's decrease their testosterone and let's give them estrogen. We'll hear what this guy's got to say and then we'll move on. I mean, this is obviously a joke, right? This is obviously completely absurd. Completely absurd. I mean, giving men more estrogen, wouldn't this make you more immune compromised? Wouldn't this make you more emotionally unstable? I don't know. It seems like madness to me, but hey, I'm just a non-essential. I can't have an opinion on this. I don't have a lab coat.
Well, it was basically why. The question was why. You know, as you mentioned, about 80%, when you look at the risk of requiring intubation or mortality or death, it's about 80% male versus 20% or 15% in females. So why such a difference? And that led to me trying to see in the literature what do we know? And when you look at the strain of coronavirus that was responsible for COVID, it's a little bit different than what it is for other previous infections such as SARS. And that gender difference was observed also in SARS. Mm-hmm. Now, when I looked at the literature, what I saw was that animal studies showed that in female mice.
When I looked at the literature, I saw that clearly the animal studies showed that the differences between men and women are that men have peepees. So I listened to the science, I listened to the raw data, you know, I punched it into my scientific calculator, my TI-83 Plus calculator, and the science told me that if we simply remove the peepees, if we get rid of the peepees, we will not have any more problems with this virus, right? If we can equalize everything, as Madonna says, this is the great equalizer. This is the great equalizer, and we will make men and women equal in order to fix toxic masculinity and kill many birds with one stone by getting rid of the pee-pee. Okay, so just hard-hitting science, right? Like the science is just, man, if it weren't for science, we would all be dead. You guys realize this, right? I hope there might be some science deniers in the chat here. We do have some super chats. Thank you guys for keeping this afloat. You know this will be demonetized. You know, the last video, I don't know if anybody tried to watch the last video we did here. The last 2.5 hour live stream on Bill Gates, on Gil Bates, and Microsoft's amazing new patent to help us mine cryptocurrency, right, using our biological function, right? So that we can have our biological functions monitored and get crypto for it, guys. Right? Your blood flow can be monitored. We talked about, we basically read through this whole patent, which is super broad in scope, talking all about how cryptocurrency could be mined through fMRIs, EEGs, and just essentially monitoring you with surveillance devices, medically monitoring you constantly and mining crypto. The ways that this could be implemented, are so ridiculously broad. Right, so pretty amazing. All right, Mia O sent in $10, $9.99. Super chat says hashtag trans vegan pride. That's right. We got another trans vegan here. I am also a trans vegan. I'm also trans vegan. This is why I'm sitting here drinking my raw milk. Trans vegan milk. We've got another super chat from Daniel Ryan sending $2. Says best intro on YouTube, don't change it. Right on, dude. That was a 20-minute intro. I don't know if everybody's gonna want to put up with a 20-minute intro every time. But I've got quite a few edits of in that same style, and I do like it. We've got a bunch of funny people in the chat. You know, sometimes you guys, you know, I'll make a funny post or something, and then the comments in there are 10 times funnier than the actual post. So I got to thank the audience here. You guys are always inspiring me when we do these streams. You guys are always inspiring me over there on Instagram, over there on Twitter, with your funny-ass comments, and of course here on YouTube. All right, can estrogen and other sex hormones help men survive? Let's see. Doctors were wondering, could hormones produced in greater quantities by women be at work? Now scientists on 2 coasts, acting quickly on their hunches in an effort to save men's lives, are testing the hypothesis. The 2 clinical trials will each dose men with the hormones for a limited duration. There we go. So, doctors in Long Island and New York started treating COVID-19 patients with estrogen in an effort to increase their immune systems. There we go, guys. I mean, this isn't just, you know, some. These are the mainstream fake news websites that are putting this out. New York Post: female sex hormones could treat male coronavirus patients, say doctors. Look how dumb the headlines are now. Female sex hormones could treat male coronavirus patients, doctors. Doctors. You just put doctors at the end, and people are just, whoa, doctors? And look, treating. This is how you treat people, with needles, with injections. That's the only way that you heal and cure people and treat them, obviously, as injections. All right. We had some funny comments on this one. Let's check out the comments on this post. Whenever you're talking about female sex hormones for men, we've got to have Dr. Greger in the mix, right? So Dr. Greger does approve of this message. There's Dr. Greger. The famous Dr. Greger. Toxically masculine, Dr. Greger. I like it. Everybody's been picking up on this photo now and using this, but I remember we found this a couple years ago. Dr. Greger's arm and a 9-year-old girl's arm. So there's Greger. He approves of this message. Let's check out some comments. Pantera Princess, I've actually lost friends for being a female who's anti-feminism and claims there's a war on masculinity. Worth it? Totally. Let the trash take itself out. There you go. Cleno Gallagher, with the winner of all the comments, says, this is exactly what me and my wife's boyfriend were discussing last night. I don't see Cleno Gallagher in the chat right now. Apparently his wife's boyfriend may have had some chores for him to do. Just eat the Beyond Meat, bro. It's good for the environment. It tastes just the same. Look at the protein on the label. It's all good, bro. Yeah. Because it just matters how many grams of protein are in it. Okay. Is the science settled on this? Of course. Of course it's settled, you guys. The science has always settled. The science is settled. You just got to ask Snopes. Hey, there's another super chat. Aaron the Big Black Dude. What's up, man? What's up, dude? He said, you inspired me to continue my fast 40 hours in. I'm getting closer to get out of the 300-pound mark. There you go, dude. So you're 300 pounds plus. You know you got plenty of body fat to burn. That's awesome, man. I'm always appreciate it. I think you send a super chat almost every single stream. There's a few people here who are consistently sending those super chats and supporting the work we do here. And I do really appreciate that, guys. I appreciate seeing these names in there. We got Honest AF. She's always up in the chat. We got OK. We got my buddy Jay Dyer. He's got a wrench. I don't know if he's still here. We got a stuffy nose today. I might be sneezing soon. Hold on. Somebody's calling me. Hold on. ¿Aló? Buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás?
Soy el señor que me había estado rogando que le venda el maíz.
Ah, sí. ¿Puedes contactarme por WhatsApp, por favor?
Ya estoy ahorita porque le estoy esperando aquí en la casa, que venga para que lo lleve.
¿De dónde eres?
De aquí en Yapuna, donde le entregó ese día a Gusto, aquí en Yapuna Alto.
Ya, porque yo no tengo permiso hoy para manejar. Yo puedo pasar en viernes posible o en lunes. ¿Está bien? ¿Puedes guardarlo desde el lunes? El lunes yo puedo pasar en la mañana, más o menos 9 o 10. Fíjense que 9:30 más o menos.
¿Y el viernes?
En viernes puede ser en la mañana, pienso.
Ya, más o menos a qué hora, espérale.
Voy a avisarte. ¿Es tu número?
Sí, es mi número.
Ok, muy bien. Gracias, amigo.
Muy bien.
Ok.
Mi nombre es Luis Pérez.
Perfecto, perfecto. Me llamo Tristan. Gracias, Luis.
Muchas gracias.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Okay. All right. It's hard to get. All right. The corn has arrived, exactly. It's hard to get organic corn right now. So I got the organic corn coming for the chickens. Prices are going up everywhere, and that's what we're talking about next. Scientists say that we've got to make food more expensive. We've got to make that food more expensive. And we got to make meat less available. All right. So we've got, people are talking about food shortages. How do I even start with this one? Here, let's come over here. We're going to come over here to Garland Farms. He's got a community post. We're going to check out Garland Farms' community post here. Garland Farms made a post. Many farmers, many ranchers have been talking about this. Garland has come on several times, and we've talked about the consolidation of the food supply, how messed up this food supply consolidation is, how the supply chains are crazy. Right? These huge bottlenecks that are created around the processing. Right? These USDA facilities that essentially promote big ag. Right? These USDA facilities where processing and slaughter happen. You can only go to these USDA facilities if you want to ship across state lines. Most of the slaughterhouses, most of the processing facilities are owned by a few corporations. And this has allowed a situation where artificial food scarcity can be created, where the farmers and the ranchers can be cut off from being able to deliver their foods to you. Right? We're not able to buy directly from most farmers. Most farmers are not able to send stuff directly to the consumer across state lines because of legalities, because of the nonsense legal frameworks that are created to bolster big ag products and to bring more profits to the investors. All right, Location 215, what's up, dude? Location 215 is always sending them super chats, sends $20. There you go. Thank you for I know I'm a non-essential. But I appreciate that you're sending me your non-essential dollars. $20 there. Location 515 says, what? Another 20. God bless. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I think you send a super chat every time I do a stream. And it's much appreciated, man. Really, really appreciate that. Let me blow my nose real quick. I got a leaky face today. All right. I got an illegal runny nose, right? They're criminalizing sneezing and coughing these days, right? Please don't report me, guys. Please don't report me for blowing my nose. Look at these seasonal changes here. We're right in the middle of 2 microclimates. Right in the middle of like 5 different microclimates. And we've got rain over there. We've got dry wind that kept whipping through. And I don't know what it is that's blooming. Something's blooming around. It's making my eyes itch and my nose blow. All right, so Garland Farms, guys, check out Garland Farms channel. You know, he does do, I think he's going to have a USDA facility close to him, so he'll actually legally, within the current legal framework, be able to send good quality grass-fed beef, grass-finished beef products outside of Texas. But he is in Texas. If you want to contact him and get good quality beef, you can get it from him. There's a real food shortage coming, and it's being engineered by Global Food and their globalist bipartisans in Washington, D.C., he says. Part of this destructive operation includes destroying American beef producers while sneakily replacing them with beef producers from countries with lower quality beef and safety standards, like Namibia, Africa. Namibia. This will allow the globalist bipartisans like Sonny Perdue to turn the U.S. food supply on and off, like flipping a switch in the near future. Exactly. When Americans absentmindedly buy run-of-the-mill, grain-fed grocery store beef, they are subsidizing this scandal, which targets their own long-term well-being. So that's what's up. When you're buying from middlemen in the grocery stores, not only are you screwing yourself long-term, you're getting screwed as well. You are actually getting screwed as well. Neo Noir 94 sending 5 pounds? Is that a pound? Thanks, dude. 5 pounds from Neo Noir 94. I guess we've got. This is a time when our buddies over there in Europe can check in. We've got. He says hashtag numbers down. Hashtag numbers down. I'll have to look at that hashtag. I have not looked at that yet. I don't know what it's referring to, but appreciate it, man. Okay, says snitches get riches. That's right. Snitches get riches if you're in LA. If you're in California, you better be snitching on your neighbors. I hope all you guys over there watching in the UK and in Europe are watching your neighbors from your window to snitch on them in case they go outside or sneeze. But don't snitch on me. Don't snitch on my runny nose. All right, so we got Namibia. First African country to export red meat to hungry U.S. market. The hungry U.S. market where farmers are being told to cull their herds by the government. Where farmers are being told to cull their animals. All right, so we've had Tyson Foods recently announce that there would be closings. Right? We had Smithfield, which is a Chinese-owned company, closing production facilities as well. The big meat packers are consolidated, are global corporations, many with shareholders in other countries. And the U.S., it is very, very easy to close down your food supply. Like Garland Farms said there, with the flip of a switch. The flip of a switch. I'm trying to find, I had some other stuff I've retweeted over the last few days. The counter, talking about John Tyson, Tyson Foods. Tyson Foods, do you guys remember when Tyson Foods was involved, or was allegedly involved in the transporting of certain illegal goods from the Mena, Arkansas airport? Where it was alleged that Tyson Foods was involved in the trafficking of illegal substances in the U.S. Isn't that funny? These huge corporations with ties to people like the Clintons, they always seem to be right at the forefront of this stuff. Always seem to be involved in these weird maneuverings. Location 515, send in another $20 super chat. Good dude. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Dude or dudette. Right? Or if you are a dude, we can fix that. We can cut that tree down to its non-essential root and help you to avoid infectious diseases by giving you estrogen or just getting rid of your pee-pee. All right, so he says he is a dude. Well, maybe you can be involved in some of these trials. He's an estrogen deficient dude. All right, he says, thanks to you and Jay, I'm learning orthodoxy. I remember making a heretical comment to you many months ago, and you made a well-deserved answer. Thank you. Wow. All right, man. I don't remember what the comment was, but I know I've seen your name around, dude. I appreciate it. You know, Jay's got a great, if you check out Jay's, someone's calling me again, but I can't answer this. I'm going to have to mute my phone. Guys, check it. He's talking about Jay Dyer's channel. Check out Jay Dyer on YouTube, jaysanalysis.com. One of my favorite websites. I am a member there as well. All right, so back to the task at hand. Oh, wait, Del Bridge. Look at all these super chats. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right, so Del Bridge says, hello, Tristan. How are you? Also, how do I get rid of gynecomastia? I had it since a child. No matter how much weight I lose, it is still there. All right, so the gynecomastia, I mean, so, no matter how much weight you lose, I mean, how lean have you gotten? How lean have you gotten? You could be looking at a hormonal disruption. Or you might want to take a hormone panel and see what's going on. You check your testosterone levels, your estrogen levels. Some people end up getting gyno surgically removed. We had the great Frank Tufano had unnecessary gyno surgery. He didn't even have gyno, but he got the gyno. He got nipple surgery, cosmetic nipple surgery, because he didn't like the shape of his nippies. So he got his slabs downsized. I'm not even making this up. But you're going to probably want to look at your hormones first, right? That's going to be the first thing. Look at your hormones and see what's going on there. Yeah, Del. I think I see you I think you're on Instagram as well, right? Your profile picture looks familiar. Have I seen you on Instagram? Anyways, look at your hormones. Look at your sleep cycle to help optimize your hormones. But there's a lot that could be going on there. I mean, hormonal disruption due to dietary influence. Lack of sleep, stress can be creating hormonal disruptions. But also like plastics. I mean, a lot of these plastics that we are eating from, even the clothes that are made out of polyester, these things can be leaching hormones, which is kind of crazy. All right, I can't read the chat because you guys make me laugh. All right, The Counter talking about John H. Tyson, chairman of Tyson Foods, published a front page paper ad saying the food supply chain is breaking, right? The food supply chain that is consolidated by these companies. Oh no, look, it's breaking. Tyson Foods, one of the biggest investors in Beyond Meat. Tyson Foods produces plant-based meat. Tyson Foods, don't they make a bunch of fake chicken products now too? All right. So how funny that these companies, many of them, are also positioned to profit off of the plant-based kibble that they want to sell you in lieu of nonsense, or in lieu of your good quality foods. They want to sell you this nonsense fake meat. Kind of crazy. So The Counter is saying it's true that meat packers are intensely disrupted by the virus. Social distancing is tough in these facilities, right? This whole meme of social distancing, this new Orwellian term, social distancing. Right? Imagine if they can keep everybody obsessed with the social distancing forever. That means nobody will ever be able to protest. Nobody will ever be able to get together in places that are not being monitored. They're talking about contact tracing as well, which we might get into today. Contact tracing, which is essentially military surveillance rebranded. The type of surveillance done in Afghanistan and Iraq on dissidents, rebranded as a way to save us. Contact tracing, social distancing. So social distancing is making it to where, oh no, we got to close the plants. Social distancing, which is very, very arguably, probably not going to be beneficial, especially long term, and maybe even in the short term with lowering infection rates. So Tyson Foods, massive corporation. Tyson Foods, massive investor in plant-based meats. Garland Farms, mentioning in the chat, also a corporate member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, while spearheading the fake meat movement, right? So these wolves in sheep's clothing coming in here and acting like they care about ranchers and producers, actually want to cut those ranchers and producers out of the supply chain altogether. They've positioned themselves in between the ranchers and the producers and the end consumer, you and I. They've positioned themselves in between the farms and the consumers. They've leveraged legal frameworks and they've lobbied to make it illegal to label food that comes from China, food that comes from Brazil, beef that comes from Namibia, beef that comes from Brazil, beef that comes from Australia. They've made it illegal to label that. Right? So people in the U.S. would want to buy U.S. beef if they had the choice. Most people would purchase U.S. beef. They wouldn't purchase beef that was produced outside of the U.S. But companies like Tyson Foods come into the National Cattlemen's Beef Association pretending like they're working for the ranchers. And when these ranchers sell cattle, they're paying taxes, basically, to the NCBA. We talked about this with Garland Farms. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about how this works, check out some of his community posts. I'm not sure if he's put out any recent videos. Look forward to more videos from Garland Farms, but you can check out some of the interviews that he's done on my channel as well. We've talked about this. And Garland Farms on the front lines. Not like the essential twerkers, on the actual front lines of producing food and distributing it to you and I. So Tyson Foods says that they got to close up some of their facilities, right? But don't worry, they've got plant-based meat that they can sell you to. So the counter says, while plant closures may lead to temporary meat shortages, the system is not likely to break down, despite the severity of current challenges. First, there's no shortage of meat designed for the grocery store shelf. So what are you talking about? I mean, no shortage of meat. You've already got prices going up in the grocery store. While ranchers sell their beef for less and less, right? At auction, they're getting less per pound. Isn't that crazy? The actual producers make less money. But at the supermarkets, they're raising the prices. How crazy is this? It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense. So the counter's basically trying to say, oh, don't worry, there's not going to be a food shortage because we've got a bunch of cold storage across the nation. No. There are so many ranchers that are being told to cull their herds. They're being told to throw away food. You have potentially millions of pounds of beef to be thrown away. We talked about a few weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. We talked about how in Australia and New Zealand, loads of beef was headed for landfills. Right? While there are food shortages, while people are starving all over the world, while food banks are running out, farmers are plowing under. They're plowing their foods into the ground. They're dumping milk by the tens of thousands of liters. They're dumping milk all over the place. All right, so the counter is basically saying, oh, don't worry. Don't worry. All right, so then we have Trump with his executive order. Trump with his executive order saying we're not going to close these down. Right? He's going to use the Defense Production Act. The Defense Production Act, where government mandates corporations to do certain things. Right? So we've got this talk of public-private partnerships going on. Right? You've got like the Clinton Global Initiative. You've got the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation promoting the idea that the Rockefeller Foundation heralded for decades of public-private partnerships, basically meaning government and corporate partnerships. They used to be called, when the government took over corporations, that used to be called communism. And when corporations took over the government, that used to be called fascism. And they were supposedly diametrically opposed systems. But really the end result was the same of both, right? What's the difference? What's the difference, right? So Trump saying, oh, we've got to continue this system. We'll use the Defense Production Act to ensure processors of beef, pork, and poultry in the food supply chain continue operating and fulfilling orders. All right, so this kind of bugs me. Now, okay, great. Oh, maybe there won't be food shortages. Okay, maybe there won't be food shortages. We know that when the stuff like this has happened in the past, there have been created food shortages. There have been created famine, starvation. And so why instead of bailing out Tyson or using the Defense Production Act to, what, you just send the National Guard there? What is the government going to do? Roll out contact tracing and testing and use it on these essential workers at Tyson Foods? How about stopping the consolidation of this massive corporate behemoth that controls meatpacking and processing? How about just letting ranchers sell beef directly? How about removing all these hurdles, all this red tape, and allowing producers to sell directly to the consumer? So that's basically what I said in my retweet. How about we allow ranchers and farmers to distribute meat directly, stop empowering massive corporate profit with USDA-assisted consolidation of the packing industry? Right? This is what it should be. So apparently there's this Prime Act. I haven't looked too deeply into this. Maybe Garland Farms knows a little bit about this. Right? But we don't want stuff like this to get in the way of an engineered Holodomor situation, which, Dr. Greger and the vegans, they're loving this. They're loving this. You see these vegans, these demonic posts from vegans like those annoying vegans, laughing about this. I'm sure Plant-Based News and Klaus from Plant-Based News over there, you know, Dr. Greger, if we can just eat more Slippies, Chippies, lentils, we can close down the whole meat industry and force people to eat vegan food. You know. These vegans, they're stoked. This is exactly what they've been hoping for. Forced closure of meat facilities. Right? They shouldn't have been consolidated in the first place. So apparently this Prime Act would allow small meat producers to compete. I haven't looked too deeply into this. I think this is something for people to look into a little bit deeper. All right, we got some super chats. Let me come over here. Come over here to the super chats, Dell. Thank you for the super chat, man. Let me scroll up here. Dell says, for $2, supporting family farms is best. Exactly. Go directly to these farms. And you know what? There's nobody stopping you from buying an animal and slaughtering it in your yard like my man Derek in the chat does. And he's talking about buying cow shares directly and butchering off-grid. Exactly. There's nothing stopping you from purchasing a cow. There's nothing stopping you. Nothing stopping you from buying a cow with some of your neighbors, from buying a sheep, from buying a goat, bringing it home and slaughtering it yourself. It's not that difficult. You don't even need a lot of instructions to learn how to do it. The first step is the hardest, right? So Derek has been slaughtering animals in his backyard for years. People thought he was crazy. He's saving tons of money. He's sourcing directly from sources that he knows feed them good quality feed, and he knows he's getting a good quality animal. You can do this. Nothing is stopping you from doing that. That's not illegal, but it is illegal for a lot of these people to be selling across state lines if they're butchering, not in a USDA facility. It's hard and it's difficult for people to jump through a lot of these hoops, but there's nothing stopping you from buying the animal yourself. All right, let me see what's going on here in the chat. Garland Farms, talking about Stalin, the Ukrainians, exactly. The Holodomor. We're rural. The kulaks were starved out, right? Which is exactly what we've been seeing done at a slower pace in the U.S. since, the 1970s, since the Green Revolution, which was heralded in by these same big money foundations that are positioned to make a killing off of what's going on right now. Right, the Green Revolution was heralded in by the Rockefeller Foundation. Massive influx of hundreds of millions of dollars to kickstart the gene revolution as well, which brought about GMO, which brought about consolidated seed supplies. So not just consolidated processing facilities, now they've got seed supplies and seed stocks that are patented, as well as loads of pesticides, herbicides, fungicides that are being sprayed all over the place, destroying our soil, destroying our guts, destroying our health. So this big ag consolidated system has been pinching out the small family farms, pinching out family farms, decreasing the number of ranches. Remember in the Garland Farms episode a couple weeks ago, he shared that it was a chart of the amount of ranches in the United States has decreased dramatically. And of course, these the blue check mark influencers will say, oh, this is a good thing. There's less heads of cattle, right? We're more efficient. See, they do this stuff in the name of efficiency. They get rid of people in the name of efficiency. They want to get rid of landowners, which is exactly what happened with the kulaks, which was exactly what happened after the Bolshevik Revolution when Stalin starved out the landowners, demonized these landowners, weaponized the people against them in a snitch society where everybody was snitching on each other. Does that sound familiar at all? And starved out these farmers, arrested them, threw them in the gulags, confiscated their land, and then guess what happened? There were food shortages, artificial food shortages. Created, engineered food shortages. Psychopath says, no, they were euthanized from shelters. That's horrible. That's so horrible. Right? But when you look at history, it is a bloody mess. The history of the 20th century is a bloody freaking mess. And there were some horrific things done in the Soviet Union that we see being repeated now. right? People think, oh, well, those are those commies, right? Remember, the Bolshevik Revolution was bankrolled by banking families out of the U.S. and Europe. It was bankrolled by Western big money interests, just like the Maoist Revolution was bankrolled by the West. David Rockefeller went and set up Chase Manhattan Bank in China in the 1970s and wrote a New York Times article about how beautiful the Maoist Revolution was and how it was a wonderful experiment. Bertrand Russell, one of these degenerate Royal Society thinkers, right? The greatest logician of all time, according to a lot of these propagandists, he said that the Bolshevik Revolution was a great experiment. And so we've got now a similar situation. We've been talking about what's coming for a long time. We were talking about the vegan activists would love to bring about a Holodomor. And it's funny because now we're seeing a potential choking out of the small family farms. If people don't support the small family farms, if people don't start taking action and actually supporting these people, support your local ranchers, this could happen and you could be starved out of your decent food. All right, so let me come back over here. Where'd that go? All right, the Prime Act. I'm going to have to learn a little bit more about this. This is one possible thing that people could do, but something you could do right now is just buy directly from farms. You could even go to the cattleman, purchase a cow, purchase a calf. You could start with a sheep, start with a goat, and slaughter yourself and share the meat with your neighbors or your friends. All right, there's nothing stopping you from doing that at home. All right, so we got a lot going on now, though. All right, I mentioned the Clinton Global Initiative, and this is why the Clinton Global Initiative is on my mind. You got the Rockefeller Foundation, the Clinton Global Initiative, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation, the Wellcome Trust. All their fingers are always all over all these things, right? The plant-based agenda, the Eat Lancet Committee for Planetary Dietary Guidelines, and now pandemic responses. Now, of course, a lot of this stuff has been gamed for years, but let's see what Bill Clinton's got to say about this current crisis.
But one of the things that you have to be able to do is to track people who are positive. Where were they? Who were they in contact with? How can you hem up any recurrence of this? Should we have, like you did with California did with the Conservation Corps of young people, should we have a contact tracer corps, even if we call it something more elegant? Should we? Yeah.
Okay, it's hard to understand because he's slurring his speech so much, right? But let me rewind that. And you catch that again.
Should we have, like you did with California did with the Conservation Corps of young people, should we have a contact tracer corps, even if we call it something more elegant?
A contact tracer corps. A contact tracer corps. So remember, contact tracer. Where did this term come from? Contact tracing. Contact tracing, social distancing. Contact tracing is military surveillance rebranded. This is Stasi-style surveillance. This is snitch society, just like in the Soviet Union, rebranded.
Should we really build the first public health network we've ever really built in this country on this issue?
The predicate for getting back to some semblance of normalcy is our ability to identify individuals through testing, to be able to trace their contacts, to isolate individuals that have either been exposed or quarantine people that are tested positive. And that's just going to require an army of folks and the capacity of consideration from individuals to allow for their privacy to be impacted by that kind of acuity of attention based upon where they've been and who they talk to.
This virtual group of contact tracers would contact anybody who's tested positive to learn about their recent activities who they may have been in contact with. We had something like 7,000 people, 9,000 people apply within the first couple of days to be contact tracers so that we can actually use people who are out of place, out of work rather, who can be trained, even lay people.
All right, so they want to take people who are out of work to make an army of contact tracers to interrogate people, to follow them around, to snitch on them. Do you not see what's happening? Do people not see what's happening? Is this not so blatantly obvious? This is over the top. All right, Foundation getting in on this. Oops. All right, we're back, right? Tell me if I'm back. I don't know how long ago it went out. I don't know how far behind we are. Am I back? All right, I'm back. Sorry, guys. All right, contact tracing. So we got the Rockefeller Foundation, major investors in biotech, pharma, big tech. Obsessed with overpopulation, right? They were behind National Security Study Memorandum 200. That was also called the Kissinger Memo, detailing how the biggest national security priority should be depopulation of the third world so that the U.S. interests, meaning global corporations, right? Global corporations can harvest the resources of the third world. So the Rockefeller Foundation released this report, Pragmatic Steps to Reopen Our Workplaces. All right, now I'm just going to show you a few excerpts from this. If you want to read the full report, you can check out my Twitter account. Let's see. This is the report, April 21st, 2020, and the Rockefeller Foundation is on it, guys. They're going to help protect us. They've got real solutions. They're going to help bring about the final solution to this crisis. And what is their solution? Fully controlling the COVID-19 epidemic requires that we test the majority of the population weekly. Test the majority of the population weekly. Every week, a majority of the population tested. Okay? All right, so they talk about federal, state, and private data platforms must be expanded to cover this. Innovative digital technologies can improve workforce monitoring and early detection of recurrent outbreaks. Digital health records and insurance claims data of hospitalized COVID patients should be used to improve diagnosis and treatment. All right, so experiences from countries that are making progress in containing it, right, which is, China. Praise China, right? China's so great. Exemplar countries, South Africa, reveal emerging best practices. South Africa is starving out the poor there. India is starving out the poor. Ghana, I'm not sure what's happening in Ghana, but I have seen some crazy clips from Africa of police shooting people in the streets. So these are the best practices. The Rockefeller Foundation says that we need to create a pandemic testing board. The PTB, Pandemic Testing Board, should have the authority to identify supply chain elements necessary for manufacturing, procuring, scaling, and deploying any items related to testing, the power to procure these materials via contracting with producers and servicers, and the power to mandate production of services akin to the authorities of the Defense Production Act. They want the power to mandate production or services. They want the power to craft recommendations for states to use the National Guard to deploy testing in conjunction with business, labor, nonprofits, and academia. If necessary, be authorized to create a pandemic response corps comprised of tested civilians to assist in the testing. Same thing as Clinton was saying, basically, right? Okay. So that is Rockefeller's plan. They also talk about bringing in community health care cores for testing and contact tracing, which is exactly what the Clinton Global Initiative is talking about as well. Public-private partnerships. Healthcare core for testing and contact tracing. And then there's something else. I should have got a screenshot of this one as well. Essentially consolidating all of this data. Right? It's all about data. Data is the new oil. Data very, very... Oh, there we go. National system to track COVID status must be created. At least 100,000 people, and perhaps as many as 300,000, must be hired to undertake a vigorous campaign to for testing, administration, and contact tracing. 100 to 300,000 people. We need an army. We need an army of that. All right, so you can check out this one. Got the link on my Twitter over there. Come over here to the chat and see what's up. Let me see if there's any. I'm not seeing any new super chats. Thanks to everybody for the super chats that you have sent. Really appreciate that. Let me see what's going on here. We got Carnival up in the chat. What's up, dude? All right. Contact tracing, everybody. I see some familiar names. Olaf up in the chat. What's up, dude? Boxa. Boxa's been around for years. Always appreciate your input and your emails. Boxa. All right, so we got the Rockefeller Foundation. They just want to help. Here's John D. Rockefeller right there. He created the Rockefeller Foundation because he was getting bad press. People saw him as the robber baron. Right? The oil barons were the robber barons. The oil barons were the robber barons. And they had to rebrand their activities as philanthropy. They rebranded their activities as philanthropy with their foundations. They broke up Standard Oil into 1,000 little pieces. So now you've got Exxon. What else? Like, isn't Shell? You have like 30 different companies now that are the remnants of the Standard Oil monopoly, which ended up creating the pharmaceutical system that we have now. Created that pharmaceutical system. Yeah, so that's Rockefeller right there. How Rockefeller found Big Pharma and waged war on natural cures. If you want to learn a little bit more about the Standard Oil monopoly and Big Pharma, check out how Big Oil took over the world. I think that's what it's called. Corbett, Big Oil conquered the world. How and why Big Oil conquered the world. This is a good documentary. I think it's like 28 minutes. How long is it? No, it's a whole hour. All right, well, it's still worth watching. No way. Latin Altar took that video down. What? There we go. Now it's up here. Why Big Oil conquered the world. All right. They took... Anyways, you can go to CorbettReport.com. You can find it. I'm sure he's also got it. He's got the MP4 download of the documentary in case it did get removed, which it seems like it did. Excuse me. Don't tell Bill Gates, guys. Don't report me. All right. So Corbett does a great job. I might have to have him on at some point. Hey. There we go. Tofu. Oh, I get it. Tofu 86. Sending a nice generous super chat. Says $40. Says $20 for you and $20 for you to send some meat down a pipeline. Yeah. I mean, we're not even able to get, because of the lockdowns here, the steaks that we used to get, which were like 40 kilometers away, because the lady could do it like we wanted her to, she would freeze it and then cut it in like nice little sections. She'd make us these nice steaks. We can't get our steaks, so we've been eating a lot of organs, a lot of ground beef. We've been eating a lot of brisket, ground brisket, which is really, really good. But that's another way that you can eat affordably, right? you get more organs, right? Kidney, you can eat kidney every single day. Most people probably don't want to eat liver every single day. Liver is a little bit more fuerte. The taste is a little strong. I like liver. I have a little bit of liver a few times a week. There was a time when I used to have like a couple bites of high liver every day. I haven't had that in a while. But we've got several ways that you can go about getting affordable beef. Ground beef, heart is usually affordable. Kidney is usually affordable. Tougher cuts, like roast and stuff, can be more affordable. All right. Am I still live? Location 215 says you got to get Greg Judy on. That's right. I'll have Greg Judy on. If you have other suggestions for guests, let me know. Greg Judy, he's one of them. Joel Salatin, I've been meaning to get him on. I've got kind of a back door where I can get in touch with him, which is cool. I'm going to have Bullard on, this guy from RCAF, which thank you to Garland Farms for sending me his, thank you for sending me his contact information. I'm going to have Bullard, I think his name is, it might be Bill Bullard from RCAF. Why does it do that? All right, so Greg Judy's coming on. I'm going to have David Rockefeller on soon. Henry Kissinger. I'm just kidding. I have the inventor of meat, Frank Tufano. Broke, dark, and handsome. We've got lots of good guests coming up down the line. But yeah, you guys make sure to check out this. Share this one. Share this tweet if you're on Twitter. If not, just share the link. If you're not on Twitter, go to the Twitter. Go to my Twitter. Get the link to this Rockefeller Foundation policy paper and share this. Right? You might want to share that Clinton clip as well. This is an important one to share. This is a very important one to share. I'm just going to keep the tissue next to me. I keep sneezing. All right, so support your family farms. Right, find good quality cuts of meat and get, maybe having a freezer, having a chest freezer, a little deep freezer, and stocking up. One of the best ways to go about it, is to slaughter your own animals too. Right? You might be able to buy cattle from some of these ranchers. Right? If you're in Texas, maybe you can buy with 10 of your friends. Maybe you could buy a cow from Garland Farms. I don't know if they'll sell you one. I don't know how the supply chain is working out there, but a lot of these cattlemen will sell you an animal, and you butcher it yourself. Someone's asking about ButcherBox. Is it still up? We haven't been putting up links to ButcherBox for a while, but I don't even think ButcherBox is doing it anymore because all their stuff came from Australia. Someone said, "Why have Frank on?" No, I'm joking. Why would I? I'm joking. We already tried to set up a debate with Frank Tufano, and he didn't show up. But that's the next segment. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to get an update. We're going to have some fun after this. Let's move on from this. This is getting too heavy, guys. We need some Dr. Greger, don't we? We need Dr. Greger. All this talk about giving men estrogen, cutting them off from their food supply, this has got me hungry for a salad. I'm hungry for a salad. We've got Dr. Greger serving up a nice healthy dose of the truth. Every day, this guy's got new videos coming out. He's up on Plant-Based News' channel. He's up on Mike the Vegan's channel. He's everywhere. He's on Earthling Ed's channel. Dr. Greger is blowing it up. I know sneezing is a reportable offense. I'm sorry. Those were fake sneezes. Those are fake sneezes. False alarm, guys. Don't tell Bill Gates. Dr. Greger, look at those loving eyes. Look at those loving eyes. Dr. Greger, Joaquin Phoenix, and the whole crew. We got Joaquin Phoenix, Moby, and Dr. Greger. I haven't watched any of this video yet. It is 30 minutes. We'll watch some clips of this, and then we've got some fun stuff to talk about. We've got Dr. Greger always brings truth, masculinity. and science. And beautiful skin, right? All right, let's go.
Hello, everyone. I have an incredible panel of amazing humans joining me today to discuss how COVID-19 relates to the climate emergency. Here we have musician and activist Moby, activist and Academy Award-winning actor Joaquin Phoenix, the physician and author of the book How to Survive a Pandemic, Overcoming COVID-19 and Preventing the Next Deadly Outbreak, Dr. Michael Greger, as well as Dr. Shweta Chakraborty, a risk and behavioral scientist who is an expert on infectious disease and the author of Adapt to Thrive.
We got Moby, Joaquin Phoenix, and Dr. Greger. How good is this? How good is this? We got two vapid celebrities and one vapid fake doctor. I freaking love it.
And I am your moderator today, Haley Thomas, a 19-year-old vegan, wellness, and compassion activist. Thank you all so much for sharing your time with us, so let's jump right into it. All right, so the first question is for Dr. Chakraborty. What exactly is zoonotic disease?
This is a great starting off point. So we know...
All right, we're going to skip past this weird blow-up doll and come to... Let's find when Dr. Greger jumps in.
First time ever even hearing of zoonotic disease, and unfortunately, in this pandemic, but I think it's really fascinating that it's been connected to pandemics for so long, yet the public is generally not so aware of it. So, Dr. Greger, can you explain a little bit more of how COVID-19 really got started?
Sure. COVID-19 is the third deadly coronavirus outbreak since the turn of the century. All three appear to have originated in bats.
All right, dude, I love just when Dr. Greger first jumps on, I love how he immediately, with full on fake energy, right? He's just pedal to the metal with a fake enthusiasm. I love this.
Dr. Greger.
Like, it's so droll, and then Dr. Greger comes on, and it's just like, now it's time to get the party started. Oh, I love it. Someone says bobblehead Greger. Yeah, I love everybody uses bobblehead Greger now. I love it. We've had a good couple of years here, you know. We've normalized making fun of Dr. Greger. It's like we've institutionalized laughing at Dr. Greger. Everyone calls him bobblehead Greger now. Oh, I love it. Bobblehead Greger. Let's go back.
Can you explain a little bit more of how COVID-19 really got started?
Sure. COVID-19 is the third deadly coronavirus.
If I talk like this and I move my head in a strange, discombobulated way and pause when I speak, it makes you believe that I am intelligent. But really, I barely know what I'm saying and have complete disdain for my audience because I know that anybody that listens to me is stupider than I am.
Outbreak since the turn of the century, all three appear to have originated in bats, but to jump to humans seem to have required a stepping stone species, an intermediate host animal that bridges the gap between bats and people.
Oh, you mean like a lab? So the vegans, they're running with this so hard. They're so sure, even though even mainstream media is saying, and the Chinese are saying too, that this didn't come from a wet market. All right? This is like weeks ago. The narrative changed. Who knows what's really true? Will we ever know the true source of this? Who knows? But the narrative that's going on now, even in mainstream, is not that this came from a wet market. Even the Chinese government has said that this came from somewhere else, that other countries had their hands on it. But Dr. Greger and the vegans, they're so keen to jump on it and say that you eating meat, that's the problem, guys. You eating meat is the problem. So let's see how long he talks. He just talks for a little bit. We'll give him some time.
For SARS.
SARS. If you furl your brow a little bit, so you have to get the eyebrows to move. There's SARS.
In that case, the animal was a civet cat, a wild animal sold in live animal markets and restaurants in China. The SARS coronavirus jumped from civets to people and then spread human to...
Jumped from civets to people. Again, we have no idea that this is actually what happened. There's absolutely no proof of this whatsoever. And there were many organizations and people who were actually claiming that SARS was made intentionally. Right now, I'm not saying I know what's going on here, but the sureness and the cocksure manner in which he presents this as if it is just absolute truth, an irrefutable scientific fact. Dr. Greger is a classic vegan propagandist.
Human, killing 1 in 10 of the 8,000 people it infected. In response, China closed the live animal markets and banned the sale of civets for a few months, and then they were back on the menu. Had the ban on wet markets been made permanent, we might not now be suffering the worst pandemic in a century. Because now we have SARS coronavirus 2, the cause of COVID-19, traced back to the same source, the wild animal.
You can look how his head, that's the walls behind him are white, right? He's got white walls. And it looks like maybe they're gray walls. Is this a white wall or a gray wall? I cannot tell. I just can't tell. But maybe. It seems to me like he may have adjusted the hue or adjusted the saturation to try to make himself look more human. But if you look at his skin, is whiter than the ceiling. How is that? How is your skin brighter than this? You're more pale than the ceiling, Dr. Greger. Obviously, social distancing, maybe it's getting to him. Maybe he's been quarantined for the last few years. Maybe he's been tanning under the moonlight. But Dr. Greger's skin looks brighter than you're glowing. You have a beautiful glow about you. All right, so these vegans claim that, and we're going to come over here, we're going to see some of our favorite vegans, Anna and Brian, from Those Annoying Vegans. So these vegans are so sure. They're so positively sure that they know that this was created by you idiots eating meat, right? People eating meat. This is why there's every disease. Every disease ever is because people eat meat. Everything bad, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, it's all because people eat meat, right? Anything to push their agenda. Right? It's kind of like these depopulation advocates who no matter what it is, the solution is, hey, we got to cut off your peepees. We got to give men estrogen. We've got to reduce the population. We need more reproductive health services and infanticide. Right? No matter what, the vegans are going to say it's because you eat meat. Because this is their religion. This is their God. This is their false God. All right, so let's see. How many... Yep, you keep animals in cages. And look who winds up being the prisoner. Those annoying vegans say animal exploitation is the source of many of our health and environmental issues. We reap what we sow. Yet the discomfort we are currently experiencing is not even a fraction of what the enslaved, tortured animals experience in the animal ag industry. Free yourself from the conditioning. Eating animals is violence. Let's see. We got to find... Here they are, rejoicing. Rejoicing that meat processors are closing. Op-ed, LA Times, what we're doing to animals is killing us too. So they're so sure this had to come from wet markets. This came from people keeping animals in cages.
What is this, Gracie May?
Gracie May.
What are you doing?
That's very revealing.
As they keep their cat in an apartment cage with them.
Baby Grace.
But apparently it's okay to keep these animals in cages, right? Or this animal. This chicken. This chicken. Is it just me, or is this chicken saying, "Killed me, killed me"? It's like it's like this. This chicken reminds me of like in those horror movies where they have some freak chimera thing. It's like in a vat growing out of sludge. Kill me. Kill me. This chicken's like 9 years old. This thing should have been soup. This thing should have been made into mercy soup 4 years ago. This freaking chicken should be gelatin right now in their freezer. But they put it in their car and they bring it on adventures with them. They freaking... But, you know, like animal agriculture is killing us, right? Oh, these wet markets are killing us, guys. They're killing us. And here they are, sexually assaulting a chicken that they keep in their home. I wish, usually if you go to their story, they have videos of them with these chickens in their bed. Oh, I've got one. I've saved one. You guys are in for a treat. Open with. Okay, hold on. I gotta do VLC. There you go. So here's those annoying vegans. I recorded it just for you guys. We watched this on a stream a couple weeks ago, but hey, why not do it again? So animal agriculture is killing the world. These wet markets where people are in contact with animals all the time, this is destroying the world and this is creating diseases, you guys.
She tumbled upside down and she reached up the tree trunk with her feet. I love you all the way up to my toes, she said. And I love you all the way up to your toes, said Big Nut Brown Brian, swinging Petunia up over his head.
All right, is that it? Did it restart? Oh, no, it's still going.
I love you, little chicken. I love you.
Oh, that's far, said Big Nut Brown Brian. That is very, very far. Big Nut Brown Brian settled Little Nut Brown Petunia into her bed of feathers. He leaned over and he kissed her goodnight. He lay down close by and whispered with a smile, I love you right up to the moon and back.
Okay. Those annoying vegans, everybody. Those annoying vegans. So, yeah, animal agriculture is killing the planet. It's so bad and mean. But we're going to keep our chicken in an apartment and make a bed for it. Cute little Santa hat. So there's another super chat over here. What's up, guys? We got an Australian peeping in from Australia. What time is it there? Is it morning? You must have just gotten up in Australia. It says, thank you, Tristan. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Much appreciated. Always appreciate the support, guys. Yeah, these have been consistently demonetized, but you guys have consistently made it worth it with the super chat. So I appreciate that. And it's fun to just get on here and rant sometimes too. Sometimes you got to let out sometimes you got to have a good laugh at these vegans. We had a real serious first half of this, but the fun's just getting started. So we got those annoying vegans, but let's get back to His Holiness, the Dalai Gregor. Let's get back to Dr. Gregor.
Traded in these live animal wet markets. In this case, pangolins, an endangered anteater species prized for its flesh and other body parts. Thankfully, COVID-19 is only killing about 1 in 200 people it infects, whereas SARS was 20 times deadlier, killing 1 in 10. And so COVID-19 may just be a dress rehearsal for the next plague unless we shut down these markets for good.
Who's we? Who is we? Like, are you a part of the Chinese Communist government? Are you a part of the Communist Chinese government? Who is we, dude? It's always with this narrative. Always with this narrative of the global solution, right? We need the global solution. All right, let's move on. Let's hear what Moby's got to say.
Wow, that's definitely terrifying, but I think there is a certain power kind of behind this, that our individual actions can potentially change the course of pandemics.
So like I'm 19 years old, and like I think it's just like if we collectively just like we could take action, and really if we come together, we're like more powerful than if we're like apart, right? So right now we're locked in our houses under house arrest, and we're probably going to be facing this social engineering concept of social distancing like indefinitely. But like if we can all just like get on YouTube and demand that like everybody stop eating animals and that we like take away all your animal foods, then like we could really like save the world.
Caused by zoonotic disease. So
zoonotic disease. Zoonotic disease. Zoonotic disease. Okay.
And Joaquin, I know you are both vegans, and for multiple reasons, I'm sure, as veganism is so interconnected. Can you, either of you, explain kind of really why veganism is so important, and especially Moby, how climate change is connected to your veganism?
Sure. I mean, I think it's also worth putting things in a historical context. And please, Dr. Greger, correct me if I'm mistaken, but the nature of pandemics is that pandemics are zoonotic. You know, going back...
Does he have a black eye or a face tattoo? Does he have a neck tattoo too?
To Ebola, the Spanish flu, the plague, HIV, these all started with animal hosts.
All right. So, some of what he just said is complete bullshit, but I'm not even going to stop him and move on. I'm not even going to stop him. I'm going to move on, rather.
And largely started with humans using animals for food. You know, that's the original vector for almost every pandemic going back thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So there's...
According to who? According to who? How do you know this? These people have no idea what they're talking about. They just make these assertions and assumptions. All right, so Moby, let's see. He's got like 30 seconds more. Let's let him finish off. Remember, if you guys remember, Moby he's a musician, like a DJ type guy, and he had a really popular album in like, I think it was the early 2000s. Yeah, I think he has some tracks with like Gwen Stefani and stuff. Just another one of these vapid celebrities full of guilt and shame because so many people worship him, and he knows that he's just a fallible human being. So then they get into this veganism and climate activism and stuff like that. So Moby's like basically a burnt out boomer who used to spin some turntables or something.
There's nothing in any way surprising about the current tragedy, and bringing it to climate change, because the two are very much related. I mean, animal agriculture is the third leading cause of climate change. You know, you can discuss percentages, whether it's 20%, 30%. It's hard to come up with such a gigantic number.
All right, again, completely vapid, just regurgitating of fake facts, right? Just regurgitation of faux facts.
But it is easy and safe and accurate to say that the production of meat and dairy is the third leading cause of climate change.
Right, sorry, somebody says more like Gen X. You're right. He's more like Gen X, but he's aged enough to seem like a boomer, right? He's trans boomer.
You cannot effectively or successfully begin to address climate change without ending the use of meat and dairy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And again, I think it's just very highly personal yet universal experience of our lifestyles directly affecting the overall experience. So Joaquin, could you speak to really your personal reasons and
how did this little girl get this interview too? The Future Coalition. We gotta investigate her. Before she moves on to Joaquin Phoenix, Mr. Joaquin Phoenix, we are all animals, we're all just beasts. Academy Award winner Joaquin Phoenix grew up in a California sect called Joaquin Phoenix. Let's see. The Future Coalition. What is this? Not even 500 subscribers. And she's got... I'm going to see if I can get Joaquin Phoenix and Moby on my channel. Let's see. I mean, I've got... Look, this 500 subscribers. Joaquin Phoenix and Moby. And Al Gore. 3 views on an Al Gore video. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, I don't know where this is getting promoted, but how is she getting interviews with Al Gore? Look how tan Al Gore is.
Hello.
Damn, Al. Al's looking rough.
spiritual reasons behind going vegan?
Sure. Well, first, thank you all for your work that you do. It's so inspiring. For me, I was...
Joaquin Phoenix, who's like 50 pounds overweight, right? Eats enough food to probably feed 2 starving children. He's going to tell you how to live.
And I witnessed the slaughter of hundreds upon hundreds of fish.
He witnessed the murder, the Holocaust of hundreds of fish. He was just traumatized, right? Probably not traumatized by the abuse that he witnessed of children around him growing up in Hollywood. His brother River Phoenix. I mean, it's really sad. You look at the history of this dude. His brother said that he lost his innocence when he was 4. Right? Isn't that what he says? Isn't that what River Phoenix said? He lost when he was 4, or was it when he was 10? But then that from the age of, I think he said he lost his innocence when he was 4, and then from the age of 10 to 15, he was celibate, and then re-lost his innocence. This poor kid, River Phoenix, super abused. His brother passed away in like the 90s. This guy's got a really crazy past, lots of trauma. Right? But it's funny because the way he tells it, he went vegan because the poor fish died. Really weird upbringing that these people had, growing up in a cult that ritualized child abuse. Crazy.
And I was immediately struck. I had a visceral and emotional reaction to it, and it seemed wrong. And I instantly knew that I didn't want to contribute or support to that kind of violence against another sentient being. I was willing to take on any kind of challenges that decision made. Experiencing ridicule in school, being challenged by my friends' parents for my beliefs. But I knew that it was something that just felt right to me. And this was before we really learned about the devastating effects that the meat and dairy industry has upon the climate.
That's before it was invented, before this nonsense was invented. All right, so we've got Dr. Greger. Dr. Greger also likes to associate with Supreme Master Television, constructive programming for a peaceful world. Supreme Master Television. We talked about this on a few other streams. In case you don't know, he's a Taiwanese cult leader, calls herself the Supreme Master Ching Hai. And she's got a cult, and she loves Dr. Greger. Here's a video Dr. Greger made for them in 2011, Viruses of Our Own Breeding. Isn't that funny? It's kind of a double entendre there, viruses of our own breeding. If we could just cut the pee-pees off. These like chickens and stuff. I guess this must be a sanctuary or something. But I guess it's okay to have these animals at a sanctuary, but it's dangerous and they're going to cause diseases if you're going to slaughter them ever.
how we treat animals can have global public health implications.
What? That change of tone is great. How do you do that?
The images in the following program are highly sensitive and may be as disturbing to viewers as they were to us.
You guys, the images may be highly disturbing to the viewers. Ah! Ah! All right, Supreme Master Television. So this is Ching Mai's channel. She put out a new video. Heaven and earth are angry. Let's go vegan and pray now.
Our world and pray for world vegan.
Listen to this.
Master Ching Hai's urgent call to rescue our world and pray for world vegan.
I don't want to mince my word anymore. Our time is short now. Our world is in truly imminent emergency.
Truly, it is a super bad and imminent emergency. You must appreciate me all your emergency money right now.
No need to wait for even climate change.
No.
Heaven is angry. Earth is angry. The nature is angry.
She has the same message as the Pope, right? Isn't that funny? That the Pope has the same message as this lady now. The Pope has the same message as these New Age cult leaders. He said, nature is angry, and that this virus is nature's backlash because we treat nature bad. He said, the Pope said, the Jesuit Pope, spoken like a true Jesuit, he said, people forgive, God can forgive, but nature does not forgive.
At us. Compared to this energy, atom bomb is nothing. It's like a child toy.
A atom bomb. Compared to this energy, atom bomb is nothing. Compared to the energy of a Dr. Gregor's spiritual power, atom bomb is nothing. There's nothing compared to the spiritual energy of a Dr. Gregor daily dozen, bowel movement diet. Even the atom bomb cannot match the spiritual energy, the beautiful spiritual energy of a Dr. Gregor. The atom bomb. All right, so let's go back to the other video with Gregory in it. Let's see.
The images.
Recent book, Bird Flu, A Virus of Our Own Hatching, Dr. Greger discusses how consumption of animal products and the widespread inhumane practice of factory farming pose serious threats to global public health. One of Dr. Greger's chief concerns is the emergence of new forms of influenza viruses, which frequently originate from factory farmed animals who are made to live in utterly appalling conditions.
Many of the plagues that have affected humanity for centuries actually emerged from animals in the first place. Now, certainly in the last 30 years or so, about 3/4 of all new emerging human infectious diseases.
Just so you know, this isn't Dr. Greger's stuff taken out of context and put in some weird cult's video. This is Dr. Greger going and interviewing with this weird-ass cult, Ching Mai. Or Ching Hai. Was it Ching Hai? Yeah, Ching Hai. This is him interviewing with this lady who looks like she's constantly having a stroke. The power of my super spiritual one eye that blinks so rapidly is more powerful than an atom bomb. It's more powerful than 100 atom bombs. Crazy. This is so weird. All right, so yeah, Dr. Greger. I mean, we had a bunch of other Dr. Greger videos pulled up. Here's Dr. Greger on Plant-Based News. This is Klaus from Plant-Based News, talking to the controversial and toxic masculine Dr. Greger. Let's see what he has to say.
we as a human species have a common goal to protect ourselves, to protect this planet, and hopefully will get us starting to think more long-term. It's critical that we use COVID-19, the current pandemic, as kind of a wake-up call. We may just be one, bushmeat meal away from the next HIV, then that one, pangolin plate away from the next deadly coronavirus, or one factory farm away from the next killer flu.
Hey everyone, this is Clarence
Yes.
from Plant-Based News. I really hope you enjoyed this video, which is an interview with Dr. Michael Greger. If you get something out of this interview, you'll definitely get something out of the free summit that is linked down below that Dr. Michael Greger features in, as well as 24 other experts in the field of lifestyle medicine and conscious living. There's some more information at the end of this.
Conscious living, lifestyle medicine and conscious living. All right, so we've Dr. Greger bringing the heat. Man, it's already been almost 2 hours. Should we keep going? I'm gonna come over here to chat. What's up, guys? You guys want more? Should we keep going? We've got a Frank Tufano section that we're gonna hit on. We're gonna do a segment about Fwank, check in on Fwankie girl, and see how things are going with Fwankie the banana girl. You guys want more? Clutter Monkeys wants more. All right, let's get some thumbs up. We got like 300 people watching. It was like 320 earlier. Where'd you 30 people go? I'm boring you. We got thumbs up. We want to keep going. All right. We'll check in on Fwankie boy. So, Dr. Greger, he's always bringing the lulls. He's always bringing us something to talk about. It's kind of low-hanging fruit, though, isn't it, Dr. Greger? But this low-hanging fruit is the best that vegans have. Like, this low-hanging fruit is exalted among these vegans. You got Joaquin Phoenix praising these people for what they do. They act like Dr. Greger is this demigod. Like, they think that this dude can do no wrong. That he speaks for science. Dr. Greger equals science in these people's minds. It's kind of funny. It is kind of low-hanging fruit. But anyways, speaking of low-hanging fruits, we've got whistleblower Frank Tufano. Let's talk about Frank Tufano blowing whistles for the right price. Broke, dark, and handsome on ChatterBait. Don't search that on Google Images unless you want to be completely scarred for life. There's things you cannot unsee. But broke, dark, and handsome. Upper bodybuilder, and the only person who speaks the truth anywhere about anything. Fwankie. We're going to talk about him. He's got a new video about we've got a life update from Frank. But first of all, we didn't get to hit on this one on the last stream. The last stream where Frank was supposed to come, where he was supposed to come and debate. Last stream where Frank was supposed to come and debate, where I messaged him 3 days before inviting him to it, where I messaged him on several platforms. And he even responded to me on Instagram in DM and then lied to his audience and said that he had no idea that this was scheduled. He had no idea that this was scheduled. He just done a life update. But first, we got some super chats. We got one super chat over here from Del Graves. What's up, Del? Sending $2. Says thoughts on the fruit and meat diet. I think fruit is great. We give our kids fruit every day. I'll eat fruit every once in a while. There's certain fruits that digest really well. I think fruit, if you can digest it, it's fantastic. Locally produced fruit. If you're unable to afford an all-meat diet, which most people in the world can't afford an all-meat diet, you want to find good sources of carbohydrates that you can digest. Right? If you're trying to lose body fat, you probably don't need as much sugar, fruit. Right? But there's nothing wrong with fruit. Fruit's actually pretty good. Get it locally. Don't be importing bananas from Ecuador if you live in Toronto. I think that's stupid. But locally produced fruit, seasonal fruit can be great. My kids eat lots of meat, lots of fat. They eat fruit. They eat rice every once in a while, but we mostly just keep rice stored in case we end up needing to eat it. They eat, what else do they eat? They eat some tubers. The kids like some tubers. I eat mostly meat. I'll have some fruits, some starchy fruit sometimes. I can do plantains. I like those. I'll do honey, dairy. We got a lot of dairy here, so I do what we do what we can do. What's local, right? Meat and good quality animal foods are the foundation. Fill the rest of the diet with what you can digest and what you can afford and what you can eat. But get good quality, locally produced, get grass-fed, grass-finished. Get good quality meat as the foundation of the diet and do what you want for the rest of it. A lot of people eat a lot of really, a very high fruit diet and do fine. All right, bitter bitch, what's up? Since 250 in euros, is that euros? Keep up the good work, your IG too. People unite, right on. I'm glad you like the Instagram. Instagram is probably what I've been putting the most. Instagram gets censored a lot less, and it doesn't get censored like YouTube. I feel like I can reach more people through Instagram, so you guys follow me on Instagram. That's a fun one. All right, so back to the task at hand. Let's talk about Fwankie Tufano. So, Broke, Dark, and Handsome, aka Fwankie Tufano, has put out a new life update. But we didn't get to talk about this video on the last one, where he didn't show up to the debate, where I gave a nice little history of my relationship with Fwankie, the banana girl. Fwankie Tufano, Broke, Dark, and Handsome. We did a nice breakdown of everything that I've been through with Frank, what I've seen him do, all the lies he's told. It was a pretty fun one. But we didn't even get to a pretty important video that I really wanted to show. But now he's put out this other video, and I think it really ties all together. So let's get an update on what's going on in Frank's world. And first, his life before YouTube. Let's take a trip down memory lane and learn a little bit about Frank. Now, we're not going to be able to watch all this. It's 20 minutes of him rambling and complaining and blaming and pointing fingers at people, like most of his videos, right? But let's see what he's got to say.
It is a beautiful Christmas morning, and I figured I'd talk to you guys about what my life was like before YouTube. It's something I've never really gone over, starting with high school. I mean, I was kind of the opposite of popular. It's funny because my mother used to actually dress me and my brother the same way until we were like, oh man, maybe like freshmen in high school. So, didn't really fit in. Parents were very strict and rigid, no real guidance outside of studying and doing homework every day. One big thing that stuck out was we weren't allowed to play video games during the week. And in high school and even early on in college, I was obsessed with playing video games. I'm sure this had to do with me being restricted as a child, and that resulted in me pretty much signing up for a community college.
Okay, so it's his mom didn't let him and his brother play video games in the weekdays. And it's her fault that he's addicted to video games. And it's her fault that he destroyed his attention span and had no self-control. So that's not even a minute in, and he's already thrown his mom under the bus for making him get addicted to video games.
At the last minute, straight outside.
So first of all, that's not your mom being restricted. That's your mom trying to help you, dude. Right? If you don't see this, if you think that your mom is this terrible person because she didn't let you play video games, that's just not even a minute in the video, and you've thrown your freaking mom under the bus. Right? This is why you're so easy to laugh at, dude. This is why, Frankie the whistleblower, you're low-hanging fruit. Right? And you talk shit on everybody, and then if anybody dares to laugh at you or to throw it back at you, you get so butthurt. You just threw your mom under the bus for trying to help you, not be a degenerate.
High school because I didn't have any focus. I didn't know what I was doing. And that translated to community college itself. So I was failing in and out for 3 or 4 years. Maybe I accumulated 25 or 30 credits. But I was literally playing video games 10, 12 hours a day until 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Was too tired to go to class the next day. And my parents were actually home, so I would actually go to McDonald's or something, like hang out for a couple hours to pretend that I went to class until my parents left for work. At the time,
Imagine being his parents and then watching this video. Like, did his mom watch this? His mom tries to protect him from his stupid, addictive behaviors. Tries to protect him from being a douchebag. And he would lie to them, leave the house, go to McDonald's, and pretend he was at school. Like, didn't even have enough respect to go to school. They're paying for his rent. They're paying for his food. Didn't have to have a job. And this dude doesn't appreciate it at all. Throws them under the bus for not letting him play video games all the time.
Brother was away at school. Unlike me, he was actually valedictorian. You know, he followed down the path of what my parents had been really just beating into us.
So it's his parents' fault for not letting him and his brother play video games, that he's addicted to video games. But then his brother, when became valedictorian and was, successful in the way that Frank thinks his parents want him to be successful. But it's his parents' fault that Frank was addicted to video games and porn and spent his days whacking off and eventually becoming a chatterbait, a male escort. It's his mom's fault because she wouldn't let him play video games.
That if you study and you go to school, you're going to get a good job and be successful. But even then, all our parents really did was, and nothing against them, but they were kind of stressed out with their past life situations, with my mentally disabled sister who is still at home. So my parents were under an incredible amount of stress.
Let's jump forward a little bit.
Through early college, I was lifting weights. So, despite not being popular, despite, wasting most of my time playing video games, I still had some element of health.
What's with people's obsession with being popular? Isn't that a weird thing? Oh, I wasn't popular. Oh, poor me, I wasn't popular. That's kind of weird, right? What is it that makes people want to be popular? I don't know. I mean, I'm not even going to get into this one too deep, but it kind of seems like a weird obsession. And the fact that he's always saying, he says, everyone that's popular is a shill. Everyone that's popular is a shill. But I just want to be popular. It's kind of silly.
And I was, in a way, working on something that would help me in the future. I was spending...
And of course, what does he think is going to help him? Becoming popular.
An hour or two a day in the gym. I was, bulking up, eating a lot of food consistently. So my first job was actually door-to-door sales.
17,000 people have watched this too. I wonder how far they actually got. 17,000 people have watched this video, including 300 of us right now. But how many of those people watching this video are not doing it and laughing and thinking, what's wrong with this guy?
For this pyramid scheme, selling windows and roofing, and they weren't actually paying me per hour. So I would, be walking around, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, just knocking on doors, asking people if they needed new windows or roofing. And it was 100% commission based. So I would go days without a paycheck. I mean, I only lasted a week there. I remember
I would go days without a paycheck. I only lasted a week there. Oh, I love it. So it's like, he didn't get a chance to edit out all the dishonest things that he says here, but you can see him constantly manipulating the truth. Freaking Frank, you can't even keep intellectual honesty for more than 30 seconds.
Last day, it was absolutely pouring, soaking rain. And one of my buddies did this thing where he would get soaking wet without an umbrella, so people would feel bad for him and try to get more sales. And then I remember the last day as well, I drove my 2000 Volvo over this curb and it completely cracked the engine mount because I was deprived of sleep.
I thought his sleep thing was because of, what's the current diagnosis, right? Ever since I talked to him 2 years ago, he's been diagnosing 1,000 different things for his sleep problems.
Just overall horrible experience. My buddy from high school actually got me a job working in a movie theater as a cashier, just part-time minimum wage. But back to my video game addiction, I was still playing, until 2, 3, 4 a.m. And correspondingly, I would show up late to work.
Why are you telling this story? All right, we're gonna fast forward a little bit more.
That job for a few, and my one biggest regret in general, profession-wise is not capitalizing on how good I was at these video games at the time. You know, playing 12, 15 hours a day, I could have started, you know, live streaming on Twitch, doing stuff like that. But that's...
Could have made it big. I could have been a contender.
At the time I was on the bodybuilding diet, just a lot of chicken, rice, broccoli, sweet potatoes, really classic conventional.
Fast forward.
Sodas, some classic cocktails. And this golf club was seasonal, so I was still looking for other jobs at the time. I was still in and out of school. And I started watching Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations, some like cooking documentaries, and I realized that if I was going to work in hospitality, I might as well try to get a job in Manhattan.
And this is when I decided I wanted to LARP and pretend I'm a professional chef.
Before I started working in Manhattan, I landed
So you remember you used to talk about, oh, I was going to be on TV because I was this amazing chef. I think this is what we're looking for. Right? It's too long of a video. I didn't want to watch it to timestamp it. The only time I saw this was probably a year ago or whenever it came out. I know it's December. Right, let's
personal training job. And,
fast forward a little bit.
You know, they were only paying me like $12 an hour, which was ridiculous.
Well, now he goes through all the jobs that he couldn't keep because he had no respect for people around him, doesn't get along with people, would get fired for various reasons.
Manhattan. And, you know, those guys that worked in that restaurant north of the city, they were from Manhattan, so some of that experience and knowledge did translate over. After going on like dozens and dozens of interviews, I lucked out. Ended up getting a bartending job at this place called DBGB Kitchen and Bar, which was Daniel Boulud, who's a famous French chef. His restaurant that was downtown. It's actually closed now, a few years ago. But it was decent. I had no clue what I was doing. You know, thankfully they taught me the basics, and I learned that I had this really obnoxious behavior that was probably from my mother, where I would interrupt people and finish their sentences and not let people speak.
It's his mom's fault. It's from his mother.
But that was really horrible because my commute was like 2 hours each way. Guys, so before I had that jaw surgery, I was working at a steakhouse, Del Frisco's. That's where I saved up the rest of my money. That would have been a really great job if I stuck with it, but you know, I was really stressed out there.
Let's go back. Why did you get the jaw surgery?
I couldn't tell you them all. I do remember one was this steakhouse around the time I was at Hunter College, and I actually didn't take my finals at Hunter College because I was trying to get this steakhouse job and make some money.
All right, so we got to find
steakhouse and stuff and doing.
We got to find the heart of this one. There's some better stuff coming.
I didn't even really talk about my personal life on my YouTube channel at the time. And the carnivore diet was a blur too, you know.
We need that really soft, slow piano music the whole time. So far, we've got a 13-minute complaint. It's all his mom's fault. It's his family's fault. It's everyone else's fault, right?
The carnivore diet I started, you know, pretty much at the beginning of all of this, after I took Accutane. But like, I wish my memory was better because then this story would be a bit more chronological. Accutane must have been early on in college, and then the carnivore diet started. The carnivore diet started when I had where I had a really big jump in subscribers. That being said, I still was looking for bartending jobs and personal training jobs. You know, even earlier this year when I had like 40, 50,000 YouTube subscribers. So earlier this year was the last time I've worked a bartending job, and I kind of made a few mistakes, you know. I didn't get interviewed there early enough. It's pretty much like the hottest cocktail bar in Manhattan right now. It's called, well, the restaurant was called Feroce, and I can't remember what the rooftop bar was called. I've seen what's happened over the past year or so, so I won't cover that too much. But, you know, things are going a lot better. And I know the story's been all over the place, and I probably missed way too many details about things. But this is just to give you guys an idea of, like, how much I've struggled. Like, I've never really made a considerable amount of money.
So sad, right?
And you know, my persistence.
And it's all because of everyone else.
It's
all because of everyone else, right? Everyone's a shill. This guy's been claiming that I'm a shill for how long now? Right? They want me gone. Look, he puts me in this video. They want me gone. Claims that we are part of a secret society. That we're all shows. I got some Fwankie the Banana Girl fans. I know there's some Fwankie fans watching, right? I know there's some Fwankie fans watching right now. So, and they're saying, why leave Frankie alone? Leave Frankie alone. Look, I'm not here just to beat up on Frank for no reason. This dude has been shitting on us for a long time. This dude's been shitting on everybody around and blaming everyone else for his own nonsense for a long ass time. And I've got some clips here. We'll pull up some of these clips just to make you guys, just so you guys can understand. Just so you guys can understand. Let's see, VLC. Make it smaller. And so anyways, long story short, Frank's life update there. It's everyone else's fault. Throws his mom under the bus, throws his dad under the bus, says that he couldn't get on some TV show because it was his family's fault. His family ruined it for him because I forget why. Right? Always with his mom, always his sister's fault. All these people are such a burden, but I'm just trying to help these burdensome people. All these burdensome people are all around me, keeping me down, but I just want to help them. That's the story. All right, so we've got here. Let's pull up. And we got this one.
They're all shills and if you guys keep mentioning other people's names, I'm going to ban you. They're all shills and I don't care. No, they don't, you don't understand. You're saying just because someone disagrees with Frank doesn't mean they're a shill. No, you're just gaslighting now. They all copy my information, they all ignore me, and they all promote these people. They are working together in some type of group collaboration. They are, I would bet a lot of money they're Freemasons or part of some society, and they are part of a corporate agenda to control the food supply. Why do you think, why do you think Bobby and Tristan are Christians and they're promoting some Christian agenda? No offense to any of you religious people, but it's pretty obvious they're being inauthentic. Both Tristan and Bobby were ex-vegans.
And that's also a lie. So him and then his little fans that come over and comment on my videos all the time, right? Which is actually why I did this. Every once in a while I'll get some comments from Fwankie fans, or it might just be broke, dark, and handsome himself, right? Male escort Frank Tufano. It might be Frank Tufano himself on one of his many alt accounts. They come and they use these same talking points. First of all, I never promoted veganism. Second of all, I was never really vegan, right? I did a mostly plant-based diet. I was never an ideological vegan. And when I was doing a plant-based diet, we were eating meat every couple weeks because we'd feel so much better. We would eat cheese too and feel way better. So I never promoted veganism. I've been doing this for longer than this. This doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm not here for the social credit points, but I have had a channel talking about animal-based foods, showing people how to make things like liver, showing people how to make nose-to-tail animal foods for a lot longer than this douchebag here. This douchebag here who says I'm a Freemason and then says I got some Christian agenda. Right? So I mean, it's cute. Like this guy just discovered conspiracy candy online, and now he's playing woke Fwank. Right? He's being dragged along by some of the members of his audience who feed him scripts, who feed him talking points, and it's pretty funny to see. But yeah. So this is not just me being a big jerk. All you little Fwankie the Banana Girl fans. This is me responding to this dude's delusional claims.
To point out the actual problems with the food system.
All right, let's see. This guy who has been shadowing my content blatantly for like 2 years now. This is so funny. Isn't one of the traits of psychopaths is they accuse others of doing exactly what they do.
the control of the food supply. They refuse to acknowledge the special interest funding. The fact,
which these are the things that I've been pointing out for a long time. And when he first came on my stream, when I actually kind of introduced him to a broader audience 2 years ago, that's what that stream was about, before he even started streaming. And then he was shadowing my content, which I don't even care. I'm glad other people are doing this, putting out information about this. But the constantly attacking me and other people, it's like people bite back, right? And you are Mr. Frank Tufano, the whistleblower, blowing them whistles. You are low-hanging fruit, dude.
When I made my raw alignment video, I didn't talk about anything she said. I just spoke about how it's blatantly obvious that she's being funded to do this. She was a vegan shill. Now she's a carnivore shill. It's so obvious. And if you look at all of these current carnivore community people, it's comical. Like people like Primal Edge Health, they were vegans, then they went keto, then they went carnivore, and they're all following the trend. They're all following the trend of what's profitable, what's lucrative.
Again, blatantly lying. And his little fanboys, blatantly lying and projecting. His little fanboys, of course, always come with the same talking point. So, anyways, this dumpster fire of a human being who just doubles down constantly. like a true psychopath, like a true sociopath, always doubling down, accusing others, projecting onto others what he's doing. Oh, Primal Edge Health's a shill. He's just following the trends, he says. He's just following the trends. Just a couple more clips, just so you guys have context. See little whiny Fwank fans.
They're all shills, guys. Listen, you might hear like what they're saying, but they're all shills. They are being paid to be in that position. I know some of you guys don't know about secret societies, but all of these guys are Freemasons. They control. They're part of the elite. They control the food supply. They live very privileged lives. They're in control of everything. It's why they're ignoring me, because I'm not part of their little club.
Frank, my brother's wife, will not take red meat, but wants to get pregnant with animal foods. Should she consume to help pregnancy?
Wild caught fish from like Alaska is great. High quality pasture raised eggs, high quality dairy products. It's funny. I have a bit.
Come back. We got one more. I mean, we've got a few clips like this just to illustrate. And of course, when I invite him on to defend his claims that I'm a shill, that we're gang stalkers, then he has nothing but bullshit to spit. Here we go. Whistleblower, Frank Tufano, broke, dark, and handsome on Chatterbait.
It's funny. Oh, Frank, not everyone can afford grass-fed beef, you elitist prick. Oh my God, you're so... It's like they think I'm driving a Mercedes or some shit. Go buy some wild-caught fish, you degenerate. Seriously. You want to stuff yourself full of poisonous feedlot meat? I know it's nice that your family... This is what it is. You have literally... And I'm not exaggerating. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of families that have a nice little house, they have 2 kids, they have a car, they're a married couple, and they're all funded by Cargill. And you have to understand, giving people that, as opposed to those people living and struggling in life, you have to understand, that's what all of these people are fighting for, and that's why they're shilling against me. I am basically exposing thousands and thousands.
What is this? They've got a little car, they've got 2 kids, they're all funded by Cargill. What is this? All right. I mean, there's more. It's just, here, we'll do one more. There's just so much projection, right? Everyone that's more popular than me is a shill. If they're popular, they're shills.
They just want to sell you shit, man. It's bullshit. Yeah, Wordy, I know they're all shills, but what are you gonna do? It's controlled opposition. Anyone that's popular is controlled opposition.
Anyone that has hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of followers, is controlled opposition. They're selling you a fake agenda that you think goes against the modern society and the modern media, but then they're steering you in another direction they want you to be in.
Everyone that's popular. I mean, I remember what he said earlier. If he was just more popular, everything would be okay. All right, so just constant projections. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back to life updates from Frank. From Frank, who says that. Oh, we didn't watch the gang. We just one more clip from the gang stalking video too, and then that's it. This one's annoying.
Gang stalk.
Ugh, too loud. All right, last clip we're watching from these clips, and then we'll go back to his video. We'll finish up, and then we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about out there. If you guys got any questions, feel free to throw out those super chats. If you guys want to support the work we're doing here, if you enjoy the stream, feel free to throw out them super chats because it does help us out. You know these get demonetized. No. There we go. All right, so here we go.
Is a form of community mobbing, and gang stalking is a form of community mobbing and organized stalking combined. Controlled harassment on a targeted individual, typically done to whistleblowers like myself, those exposing a corporate agenda. The goal being to isolate a target, make them destitute, make the target homeless, jobless, give them a breakdown.
Homeless and jobless. So you guys, people have been gang stalking Frank forever, right? He talked about how he couldn't hold down a job, right? Because his mom was gang stalking him when he was a kid and took away his Xbox and wouldn't let him play video games all night because she's a gang stalker too. So if Frank wasn't being gang stalked by all of these gang stalkers like his mom, his dad, all the people around him, his whole family, gang stalking him and making it to where he can't keep a job, all his coworkers who they only have jobs because they're gang stalkers and they have contacts and whatnot. Also, everybody who's carnivore or vegan who are also in secret societies and Freemasons, they're gang stalking him too and trying to make sure that he doesn't make millions and millions of dollars. It's this poor guy just can't get a break.
The primary goal being to drive the target to suicide. There are some days I've told myself I don't want to be here anymore. But my life isn't about making myself happy. It's about making other people happy.
Again, he suffers for our sins. He's suffering for us because he just wants us to be happy. But the only way he can do that is becoming the most popular. He's got to become the most popular to make us happy. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Sometimes it's hard not just to read the chat because some of you guys are freaking hilarious. All right, sorry. Let's keep going here.
The reason for all of this is that I've been calling out special interest funding, aka corporate shills, those promoting an agenda because they are paid to do so, in both the vegan and carnivore communities. The carnivores are actually working with vegans against me. Logical Links, aka Josh Blackburn, recently commented on a Vegan Gains video. And
see, he commented on a Vegan Gains video. I gotta find the part where he mentions me.
And someone in the room asks you, "Oh, are you turning the lights on?" As far as I know, it's not possible to build muscle on an estrogenic feedlot beef diet or a vegan diet without the use of steroids, aka performance-enhancing drugs. So people like Vegan Gains, hench herbivore, is called gaslighting. Basically, repetitive lying. It's from the movie Gaslight in 1944.
So he's probably never even... That's actually a really good film. You shouldn't be able to say the word gaslight unless you've actually watched that film. Anybody watching this should watch that film. Then you'll understand a little bit more about what these cult leaders do to their audiences.
Or it's like you're flicking the light switch on and off, and someone in the room asks you, "Oh, are you turning the lights on and off?" And you go, "No, I'm not. You're just imagining things." This all started after I published a video calling out Paul Saladino, aka Rat Boy, for plagiarizing my information. And many of you gang stalkers are pretty unclear of what the definition of plagiarism is. It means passing off one's work as your own. And I found, 20 to 30 incidences where he strung together word for word verbatim.
Because here's where Frank pretends like he invented all the carnivore talking points that have been around since Weston Price.
Phrases from my videos without crediting me. I was confident that he's plagiarizing me. It's pretty obvious to anyone with an IQ above 80. After
anybody who's not stupid agrees with me.
posting this video, one of the other carnivore shills, Tristan from Primal Edge Health, called me on Skype and started gaslighting me. I was like, what does this guy think I'm stupid? What are you talking about? The guy was lying to my face and saying it with confidence.
Okay, so here's when, back in the day when I was still trying to be super helpful to Frank, right? When I invited him on my live stream, even like showed him how to live stream, and then he, which I don't mind, he went and copied the format and started doing a lot of the same types of videos, right? But everyone else plagiarizes Frank, of course. So I was gaslighting him, and I was gang stalking Frank by telling him that he's wrong and that he's being delusional. So this is when his public downward spiral began. When I actually spent an hour of my life, the most excruciating hour of my life, speaking to Frank Tufano on Skype. After I messaged him a few times, I was like, dude, you're shitting in your own nest. And I showed you guys all the Skype messages too. You guys can see the Frank where he was supposed to come on and debate, but of course he didn't show. He was told 3 days before, and then he lies to his audience and said, oh, I had no idea. Even though many people from his audience sent me screenshots of him responding to them about it. I talked to this dude for probably, I think it was under an hour, maybe it was over an hour, maybe it was around an hour. But the whole time he's talking, he couldn't stop reading his comments. Right? When you're talking through Skype, it's not like you're really talking to somebody in person. But I had to tell him so many times, quit freaking reading your comments, dude. He was just obsessively reading the comments, curating his comments, curating his glass house, polishing the glass house. It was like talking to, I don't know, it was one of the most frustrating conversations I've ever had in my life. So anyways, there you go. There's Frank, constantly attacking. And then when anybody else dares to respond, his gaslit audience, his cult member audience go nuts. So then he puts me in his other video, they want me gone. And we're not going to watch that video. We don't have time. Let's learn about let's get an update. Let's get an update on how Frank's doing now.
I swear to God, guys, the world could be ending. There could be laser beams shooting out of the street lamps. All of the houses could be on fire, and these landscapers will still be outside with their leaf blowers, using up as much gas as possible.
All right, so gang stalkers with leaf blowers outside his house.
So if you guys are wondering, Frank, why are you shirtless? It's because I haven't eaten anything all day, and I kind of wanted to show off the leanness a little bit. But today I figured I would give you guys a summary of what's been going on.
We need some sensor bars on those nipples. Those little nippies. We need some sensor bars on those nipples, guys.
In my life, what I've been doing, with my family, with my businesses, over the past few months that'll answer a lot of the questions you guys have been asking me. First and foremost, if you guys can sign up for the newsletter at frank-tufano.com, as the suppression of my channel and videos seems to be getting worse and worse.
The suppression is so bad as his channel's growing constantly, right? The suppression's getting so bad, maybe his views are down or something, right? As if his views are down, maybe it has more to do with people seeing through his nonsense and people being sick of the content he's producing. But I don't know. Or maybe YouTube's gang stalking him too.
And this brings me to the overarching concern I've had that I really need to stop worrying about because it's out of my control. Despite being consistent, making YouTube videos every single day for 2 years, 3 live streams per week, spending thousands of dollars of my hard-earned money on my day job per month in advertising, my channel growth has been...
Spending thousands of dollars to advertise on my video. Called him a gambling degenerate, right? All these people are keeping him down, and YouTube is halting the growth of his channel. Everyone's just after him.
Nowhere near people that have done far less. And we all know why that is. But the point is that it's preventing me from reaching and helping more people. Unfortunately, when what you're doing takes money out of the hands of many lucrative businesses,
There are people.
All right, so what he's doing takes money out of the hands of many lucrative businesses. What businesses? What kind of delusion is this?
In place to make sure that doesn't happen on a large scale. Everything I've done on my channel has had positive implications. Warning people about the dangers of a vegan diet, the downsides of eating feedlot animal products, the harms of new Wi-Fi technology, but I have received far too much negative for what is supposed to be a positive message. It goes to show how all of these people that are against me truly don't care about the health and well-being of anyone but their own bank accounts. Now,
So these people don't care about anything except their own bank accounts. Right? All these people, all they care about, they're just shills. They're just trying to keep Frank down. They're just trying to keep Frank from sharing the truth with you guys. Right? The truth and the gospel of the cult of Fwank. That's all he's trying to share. So let's see what else he has to say about these people. Let's see what oops. I need a producer.
At all during the week, so it depended. I would say average 10 to 15 times a month when I wasn't bodybuilding. Frank is being censored from carnivore events. Yeah, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna make more money than all those clowns combined.
That's doesn't matter. Frank's all about consistency.
I've always tried to be positive forward, regardless of knowing the cards are stacked against me, because I know that if I start acting negative.
Okay, so we'll back up and we'll get the audio right there.
Positive message. It goes to show how all of these people that are against me truly don't care about the health and well-being of anyone but their own bank accounts. Now, I've always tried to be positive and move forward, regardless of knowing the cards are stacked against me, because I know that if I start acting negative and give up, that's exactly what these people want. They win. So I will continue to be positive and hope that opportunities occur in the future. But I do want you guys to know that, I've been selflessly doing this for over a year now. I understand I have a responsibility to educate people and spread information on my platform.
He's been selflessly doing this for over a year. I thought he was saying he's been doing this for forever. I thought he was the first one, the original carnivore, right? And so he's been selflessly doing this, selflessly trying to become the most popular and make more money than everyone else. Selflessly. He's killing himself for our own sins here, guys. For our sins. Frank is suffering for us. For you.
Say that I have one of the, if not the most important nutrition channel on YouTube due to my in-depth understanding of what actually makes us healthy. And you guys have kept me going throughout all of this, but without the larger scale support that a lot of these other people are getting, the podcast platforms, the TV shows, I can't imagine many people have had to go through so much adversity without getting more reciprocation.
Nobody has suffered more than Frank to get such little reciprocation. So, we've got 3 minutes in, and it's 3 minutes of Frank telling his audience that they don't do enough for him. They haven't bought him his new car yet. They haven't bought him his farm yet.
And I want you guys to be assured that I am in this for good, but I keep working harder and harder and getting less results, and no one wants to be in a situation like that. So I won't talk about my family too much. Things have been the same for the most part. The health of my mother and father continues to decline somewhat.
Or gang stalkers.
I can't make this up. Now someone's revving their engine.
Freaking gang stalking cars and shit.
So I've been trying to help my parents to get some nutrients in their diet, reduce their inflammation, get them away from the Wi-Fi devices. But my father's self-destructive behavior has manifested itself in the form of memory problems. And, my mother...
It's just, he's trying so hard to help everybody, but his dad has self-destructive behavior, right? His dad who gives him a roof to live under for free. His mom who never made him really have a job. His parents who's been able to live with rent-free until, I don't know, what is he, 30 years old, going on 14.
She's been having memory problems ever since she had her stroke a couple years ago.
It's like, why are you saying this publicly, dude? Why are you always shitting on your own family? It's your family's fault. It's Tristan's fault. It's Sean Baker's fault. It's everyone's fault. Everyone else's fault.
I've had the same conversations over and over with my family dozens of times, and I even forced them to write stuff down at this point. I'm really trying not to focus on it too much, though. But
yeah, but that's all you focused on so far is how you're suffering for everyone else, but your audience doesn't give you enough. Your family doesn't give you enough. People don't put you on their podcasts. People don't put you on TV.
You can imagine it gets very frustrating when you're trying to help someone and you've told them the same thing over and over again. It's like deja vu. Like I'm literally living in, what's the movie 50 First Dates, where you just feel like you're repeating yourself over and over again and nothing ever gets done because the people you're living with live in like a false reality where their lives just reset every day. I feel like that's what it's like for my parents and my sister. My sister hasn't been at her day program as everything is closed. They are doing some online Zoom classes and she's doing okay at home, but has been acting up a little bit and it has been causing some stress. I mean, my parents complain about every single thing. You leave a fork in the wrong place, it's like the end of the world.
His parents are always complaining, right? It's freaking, this dude's parents are always complaining. His parents are always freaking complaining.
But my main concern about my sister is that she hasn't been sleeping and has been having some health-related issues from taking...
Sister hasn't been sleeping, so he's been talking about his sleep problems forever, right? But now it's his sister. She doesn't sleep. That's the problem. Really, really weird.
Birth control. So I've been trying to adjust her diet in a way I see fit to remedy the problems, but my parents keep giving her low-quality food, and it's certainly impairing my ability to fix my sister's health. So there's definitely an element of unneeded stress that I can't really avoid. My parents won't listen to the health guidelines I'm setting for my sister. Every single day I walk downstairs and my father is giving something she's not supposed to be eating. And this is bad because there are certain detox pathways that are inhibited by certain negative food additives. So in order for me to help my sister, my parents have to allow me to do so, and that's not happening.
Oops. Let me go back. All right, so it's all his parents' fault. It's all his sister's fault. No one will let him help them. I don't know. I mean, you guys get the point. I don't know if we have to finish this. It's the same thing. Same thing as the other one. And talk about lack of self-awareness. Talk about projections. His damn parents just won't stop complaining. His parents are always complaining. Well, he lives there for free. Doesn't pay rent. It's their fault.
That's not happening. This is the difference between her eating some organic macadamia nuts versus some walnuts, or some prosciutto versus some crappy deli ham. I'm spending a lot of money on quality food for my sister's health, and my parents are just frustrating the hell out of me when all I want for my sister is for her to sleep better and be happy.
Let's skip forward a
It's
little
been
bit.
kind of amiss in this new culture we live in. With
Okay, here we go. Nice.
I've thought a lot about trying to get a girlfriend as an elements of growth for both my life and my YouTube channel. Obviously.
What? He wants to get a girlfriend as an element of growth for his life and his YouTube channel. But girls are just so lame that they won't become a prop for his YouTube channel to help him grow his channel. How stupid is this? That sucks, man. These women are just... all these gang stalkers are out there trying to discredit him. And then all these dumb women out there don't want to become his props for his YouTube channel. This is crazy.
She was drinking 6-7 cups of coffee a day when she was working at Staples, and my parents weren't telling me that. And I'm like, yeah, no wonder she's not doing good, because you guys let her completely destroy her adrenals. I think my parents mean well, but in a way they're treating her like a dog, where they think giving her food is going to make her happy, when that's not the case. And speaking of making women happy, I've thought a lot about trying to get a girlfriend as an, elements of growth for both my life and my YouTube channel. Obviously, having a girl draws views, and, that element of family dynamic is, something approachable to more people. And it's certainly...
He's telling his audience This is why I couldn't resist this, right? After some of the comments that I had from some Fwank fans just randomly popping up on my feed, you can always tell. You can always tell the type of comment, right? And then I go over and I go, what's Fwank doing? And I watch this video and it's like, are you kidding? He straight up says he wants to get a girlfriend just so he can appear human on YouTube. And people like that family dynamic and stuff.
Wow. Something I always wanted for myself, but it's been kind of amiss in this new culture we live in. With everything going on in my life, from my family to my businesses, my obligations, I haven't met a woman who isn't a complete parasite. And you kind of expect a two-way street.
All these women are parasites, though, right? All these women are just parasites. Frank lives at home, shits on his parents all the time. It's their fault for everything, even though he lives at their house for free. Oh, but it's his sister's fault. She doesn't listen to him. It's his parents' fault. They don't listen to him and let him control everything his sister does. It's everyone else's fault. It's the gang stalkers. And then he just wants to get a nice girl so that he can build his channel up, right? But none of these girls will date him because society, bro. Because we live in a society, man.
In a relationship, but the past few cases I feel like a clown at a circus trying to entertain people. And to me, I just don't feel an emotional or intimate benefit from anything I've experienced in the past. It just...
Oh yeah? We noticed, dude. You don't feel human emotions. You want to go through the motions and pretend to feel human emotions so that you can extract things from other people, right? The one self-aware moment he had in this video is about 30 seconds ago when he says he feels like he's just a freaking clown dancing around.
Doesn't seem worth it. So, I don't really anticipate anything moving forward, mainly because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I might be able to find, a like-minded female, but, why am I going to spend more time, effort, and, to be truthful, hard work just to please some princess so I can flash her around in some YouTube videos, since that is the main factor for motivation, it just doesn't give me enough.
He made this video, he edited this video, and he put this video up.
Drive to pursue these girls in the current dating setting. I guess we can go over my current business obligations, and for any of you unfamiliar...
Not as business opportunities, right? Building this business and being able to, he doesn't have to pay rent. He doesn't have to pay rent. He has a business partner. Dude, imagine, yes, his audience, many of them are just watching it for the lulz, right? Much of his audience is just watching it like a dumpster fire. But then you've got a part of his audience that actually worships him, right? A part of his audience who are the people that he despises the most, right? The people that he is manipulating are the people he has the least respect for. There's that part of his audience. But there are people that are dumber than Frank. And there are people that are dumber than Frank's audience. And those are the people who go into business with Frank.
Miller, I have, Frankie's Free Range Meat, where we sell quality animal foods at the lowest price out of any of the online vendors I've seen.
Lowest price. Middleman's meat at the lowest price, right? And he says he hates the farmers too. Remember what he said before? That he did this because he hated the Amish and he hates the farmers. I'm not making this up. These are words straight from Broke, Dark, and Handsome on Chatterbait himself.
And if you're wondering why we're able to undercut everyone, it's because me and my business partner Adam are nuts and we haven't been making any money.
Do you think that's true? He and his business partner are not making any money. You think that's true?
Frankie's Naturals is minimal ingredients, minimally processed, hygiene and cosmetic. New facility shortly. We'll do so soon, as much as I just finalized and streamlined and really up and running. So that brings me to my current health. And I'm still trying to donate blood and remove some iron from my liver. If I don't take a copper supplement, I will literally not sleep that day. So hopefully all of this is over, when I get some sun this summer and I'm feeling better in a few months. The main issue is this bodybuilding bullshit. I really can't stand eating all of this meat and honey every day. These 2 large meals in the morning. And
Poor Frank has to do bodybuilding now. right? He has to do bodybuilding to prove to vegan gains that he is superior. Right? He has to do bodybuilding because the gang stalkers and the gaslighters are forcing him to do bodybuilding. And it's ruining him. He has to eat 2 meals a day, you guys. 2 meals a day. Poor Frank has to eat 2 meals a day.
Night are killing both my stomach and my sleep schedule and impairing my ability, to heal from these health issues. I've already committed 6 to 7 months to this bodybuilding, and I figured that I may as well go for a few more. On one hand, the world is likely ending soon, and I can spend my time much more productively.
Right? It's like you've got to keep bodybuilding because the world's ending. The world is going to end, so he's got to get jacked. Come on, guys.
If I wasn't bodybuilding, I'd spend less time eating, less time in the gym, less time sleeping, and my overall quality of life would go up substantially. But the prospect of being a fitness influencer...
But remember, in the beginning he said he just wants to do this to help everybody. He just wants to do this to help everybody, but in order for him to help everybody, I guess his quality of life has to go up. And how does his quality of life go up? He has to become so popular, guys. It's got to be the most popular.
Might solve all of these issues I've been having currently. And if this fitness stuff gives me a larger platform, the temporary suffering will be worth it.
He's suffering for our sins. Frank, he's just suffering for us so that he can become the most popular fitness YouTuber now. And then all his problems will be better. Let's rewind this. This is so classic.
I'd spend less time eating, less time in the gym, less time sleeping, and my overall quality of life would go up substantially. But the prospect of being a fitness influencer might solve all of these issues I've been having currently. And if this fitness stuff gives me a larger platform, the temporary suffering will be worth it. So I'm going to stick it out a bit longer and see where things go. I've already suffered for 6 to 7 months. What's another 6 to 7 months going to hurt? So
this poor guy is suffering 6 to 7 months of living at his parents' house rent-free, having a super successful YouTube channel, having his own business with a business partner, fronts the bills. It's so hard, so difficult.
We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, as much as I'm trying to stay positive, right now I'm looking at these godforsaken LED street lamps, which are in my view, several of them every time I walk outside. So definitely.
I mean, the street lamps are attacking him. The gang stalker Freemasons are attacking him. The Christian agenda is attacking him. His mom wouldn't let him play video games. His dad is super problematic. They won't let him control everything his sister does. And he has to work out and eat 2 meals every day. Every day. For you guys, for us, for our sins.
Sign up for frank-tufano.com. We're going to send out some flyers, sort this stuff out, and take back what's ours. So thank you guys for joining me today. Let me know if you have any suggestions or helpful stuff down below. That's the main reason I'm making this video. I do enjoy getting feedback from different people, continuing to learn and remaining objective. So if you guys do want to support me further, I've mentioned those several things. You can find links to that down in the comments.
All right. So there we go. Frank Tufano, an update. Remember, it's everyone else's fault. His whole life is about helping people, helping his family, but they won't listen to him, and it's all their fault, and it's all your fault as well. So thank you, Frank. We really appreciate the update. It's always nice checking in. If you do wish to finally come on and where's Frank? If you do wish to come on and discuss these accusations you've been making against me for over a year now, saying that I'm a Freemason shill with a Christian agenda, you can come on and we can discuss this stuff. We can talk all about your accusations against me anytime, just like I invited you on before. And but I very much doubt that that's going to happen. So, all right, we had Dr. Greger. We talked about Frank. Talked about we had a real serious first hour. Let me go over here to the chat. Let's see what's going on. Some of you guys in the chat crack me up. Sometimes I gotta stop reading the chat because I'll start laughing, and I can't read all the comments, but some of you people are hilarious. We got Clutter Monkeys, the Norwegian Noose. Father Deacon Dr. Ananias, good to see you in here. Fwankie will whoop your ass. Excuse me. Illegal sneeze. Illegal sneeze. All right. These fitness videos are laugh. Totally delusional to some people. Come over here and see if we got any super chats. Got to thank everybody for sending all these nice super chats today. You guys always keeping the channel afloat here. You guys make sure to like and subscribe. Let's see, the information about the Rockefeller Foundation. This is very important, right? The last hour, we had some laughs. We had some laughs about Dr. Greger, but this, the Rockefeller Foundation, pragmatic steps to reopen our workplaces and our communities. Definitely share that one. If you guys go over to Twitter, you can get the link for that one, the original link for that one. So you guys want to become a member at primaledgehealth.com. The next coaching call is going to be tomorrow. So today's Wednesday, right? What day is today? Today's Wednesday. Yes, all right. Thursday, tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys become a member, primaledgehealth.com. You can join the Inner Circle. We've got a private forum that's curated. It's not full of trolls and whatnot. And if you guys want coaching, that's actually the most affordable way to go about it. You can actually do, if you sign up for 1 year, you get 50% off, right? So the price is 50% off if you do sign up for 1 year. And that is one of the best ways to support our work and then also get our support. And Jessica's in there all the time. A lot of people are always asking, where's Jessica? Where's Jessica? She don't like coming on YouTube because you people are cruel. We got cruel crowds here on YouTube. All you gang stalkers out there. So she's actually going to be doing with a friend of ours, her own podcast, which we're going to be broadcasting through alternate current radio, and we'll have the links up on our website as well. Zyklon B is talking about this: if I join the Carnivore Collective, do I get initiated as a Freemason too? That's our group coaching. We actually haven't been doing that lately because what we've been doing is weekly coaching calls in the Inner Circle section in our private forum. So if you guys want to get into the coaching calls there, we can initiate you as a gang stalker Freemason with a Christian agenda. You guys can join that. We got some super chats though. What's up? Tofool86 says $10 for my stimulus check. There you go. Only my wife gets my stimulus check. Tofool sending this non-essential, them Trump bucks. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support from everybody. Hope everybody can get back to work really dang soon. Things are looking harsh in Ecuador right now. We're going fully, we're going dumb, as they call it in the Bay Area. We're going dumb in Ecuador, and it doesn't look like we're going to be going less dumb anytime soon. So, but we're still able to get some stuff done here. We are able to, at least lately, we're able to employ a neighbor of ours. And we're trying to get some good stuff done here, and we're clearing out the land, and we're going to be trying to work on our irrigation system. So that stimulus check money, that's going to go towards helping the local community here and building our irrigation system so that we can provide good quality animal foods, dairy products mostly, to the neighborhood here. So Tofu86, appreciate that, dude. Appreciate the support. Glad you guys enjoy it. Glad you guys get some laughs, some cries. You guys make sure to support Frank Tufano and help him stop the gang stalker Freemason streetlights. He's gonna save the world, guys. We got Nick Jones, $10. Nick Jones says $10. Hey Tristan, thanks for all the hard work you and your wife put in. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate all you guys in the audience here. I got some names that I'm seeing all the time. Zyklon B still in Nogada. What's up, dude? Who else? Delbridge, all around. Nemesis, I see your name in there too, man. Okay. There we go. Jessica's too wholesome for YouTube. Exactly. She is. She can't hang in the YouTube. YouTube is grimy. YouTube's a battle zone. I mean, it's like there's nice areas of YouTube, but like we stir the pot here. We take the stick and we stick it right in the snake's nest here in YouTube, right? We're always poking at the vegans. Ugh. But yeah, what else, guys? If you guys got any other questions, feel free to send the super chats. We can hang out for a little bit. I'm always down to hang out for more super chats. You know that. That does make it worth it to stick around a little bit more. But we've been going 3 hours now. Nemesis is a female. Sorry. I'm glad there are some ladies that watch. Let's see, we got Bitter Bitch. We got Dell, location 515, Neo Noir, location Judas Romo, Aaron the Big Black Dude, Daniel Ryan, and Mia O. We have quite a few ladies sending them super chats today. Honest AF says, great stream. Right on. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoy this. We have some laughs. We have some cries. And we have some damn serious stuff in the first hour. But everybody, I'm about to take off. We'll do another stream soon. My internet might go out. Oh, man. Gertej Rana sent in, what is that? I think that's pound, 5 pounds. Would you say that you are true to yourself? Am I true to myself? Of course I would say I'm true to myself. Now, would I be lying to myself when I said I'm true to myself? Whoa, dude. Whoa, dude. Thank you for the support, Gertej Rana. I mean, I think it's more than about just being true to yourself, right? Like, because there's more to this than just yourself. All right, it's about being honest to God. All right, that's the ultimate judge right there. That's the ultimate judge. We're not in charge. We're not in charge. We're in charge of what we're given, of the dominion that we're given. And most of us can't control our own selves. So yeah, we got to try our best to be true to ourselves and to be true to God. So thank you for that. Super chat. Somebody was asking about how do you find a girlfriend? Del Bridge says, talk to women. Yeah, talk to women. Exactly. Talk to people from 2 meters away. And if they got the sniffles, you better call the cops. Right? Yeah, talk to people. Talk to ladies. Quit being afraid. I mean, some people make content when they're joking, right? But look, you're looking for a real relationship with somebody, you will be able to draw that out of someone, right? But it takes you being honest with yourself first, right? You got to be honest. You can't be going and trying to impress somebody with some false image of what you think you should be. You got to be yourself. You got to enjoy being yourself. And then you bring others along for the ride. Right? But it can't be, you're not going to bring people into your sphere. You're not going to bring a good woman into your life if you just, like Frank is talking about here, if you just want to bring a woman in so that you can parade her around on YouTube and try to get views. Psychic Outlaw, what's up? How did you get a stimulus check when you're in Ecuador? Because you're still a U.S. citizen? Dude, I didn't get a stimulus check. What are you talking about? I have not gotten a stimulus check. Where's my Trump bucks? Jay Dyer, send me your Trump bucks. Jay Dyer, did you get... What's up, Jay? Jay, you're like 10 minutes, 20 minutes behind, aren't you? What's up, dude? Jay Dyer, we got to do a stream soon, man. It's boring just talking about myself. I just did it for 3 hours. Israel De Leon, what's up, dude? Israel De Leon says, Frank is suffering for our sins. Exactly. Frank is, you guys, he just wants to help you guys, which is why he needs everybody around him to stop gang stalking him with streetlights. And why he needs a girlfriend that he can parade around on YouTube, but none of them really deserve him because they're all idiots. Because everyone else is so fake and lame. Jay, you didn't get Trump bucks? Man. Send me super chats from your bucks, dude. Just kidding. I got exactly $0 in Trump bucks. We thought we would actually get it. We were thinking, oh, that'd be cool if we could actually get some Trump bucks. Jay Dyer's going to get a girlfriend for his YouTube channel. That'd be sick, dude. Dude, you would blow up, dude. Jay Dyer with Jamie Dyer. No, Jay's already got a lovely fiance named Jamie. Jay, you're such a narcissist, bro. You couldn't even find a woman that didn't have your name in her name, dude. You're so much more egotistical than me. 6 feet under, 6 feet away, too similar, right? Everybody's got to be 6 feet away. 2 meters in social distancing. Socially distant. Good global citizen. Please proceed to your nearest pornography dispenser so you can earn cryptocurrency bucks for donating your bodily fluids to the Borg. All right. All right, guys. So make sure to you guys go check out Jay's channel. Go check out. We got Norwegian Noose in here. We talked about Garland Farms, who was up in the chat. We even had Carnivore here. Why you guys have such short attention spans? I see my buddies like Garland Farms and Carnival pop in, but they're just here for like 10 minutes. You guys don't want to listen to me blabber for 3.5 hours? What's your problem, dudes? What's your problems, bros? Well, you guys, seriously, support Jay's channel. Help him get a girlfriend for YouTube. He's been doing this. Jay's probably been putting out videos at least as long as I have on YouTube. That dude works his ass off. Some of the best content out there. And the gang stalkers and the street lights won't let him break 100,000. We need Jay to break 100K. Because when Jay breaks 100K, we get to ride on the coattails of his internet fame. So if there's any ladies out there who want to be Jay's fake internet girlfriend, show a little bit of side boob on some streams. Show a little side boob on some streams. And help him get to 100K. Oh, he was only doing videos 3 years ago. Dude, I started in 2014 or 13 or something. Maybe 14. Side boob from Jay. All right, guys. Jay's, when's your next stream? We want to see some side boob. All right, guys, I gotta go. It's like 5:30. It's been a long day. I'm zonked from the computer. I'm not so sniffly anymore, so that's nice. Jay's doing a live stream tonight. Migrate over to Jay Dyer's channel. There will be side boob. Peace. Reflections.
Trying to raise the sense of urgency around climate change.
What ups, Reflections? I am not a bigot. I am ready to save the planet by doing exactly what the big banks tell the TV screens to tell us to do. I feel so empowered on my #vegan journey. Join us as we chant empty slogans for #climate action written by PR firms. We need to save the earth and demand a global totalitarian technocratic government run by big finance and the Fortune 100. Our house is on fire and we need the nice grown-up government to take everyone's land and resources and ration us delicious, sustainable, nutrient-fortified vegan kibble. This is an emergency. Mommy Earth is crying so sad because she wants the mean grown-ups to give poor little 16-year-old human shield Greta her future back.
Do you have anything to add to these debates about just, in particular, the idea that it's kind of too expensive to deal with climate change?
I mean, it is... The money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean...
Jeffrey Epstein committed suicides and was working alone. Veganism is desirable and fun and make me smile big happy on my insides. I do not hate children. I am not a science denier. I do like science. To fix the #climate crisis we need to sterilize ourselves, starve ourselves, eat babies and grandma and move to a social engineered #smart city to save the earth. There is no time to examine the inconsistencies in our claims or actions or the billions of dollars being leveraged to brainwash us into thinking we want this. We want #climate action now and a #plant-based food system of sustainable fortified kibble. We are not being used. We are truly empowered and full of energy that we are using constructively. We are so empowered and not deceived.
We all share the same values, so we just need to align those values with our actions and join forces. We all want the same thing. We want to see an Earth in the next 50 years.
The money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean...